and Thinking Big, who looks to have real upside with his pedigree. And you look at the pedigrees of these horses.
About the third event at Rose Hill, which is 3.5 minutes away. Since last check, there's been further support, Brass, for Irukandji, $4.40 into $4. It'll be best backed, and 1800.
And the field of 5 are off here in the Gloaming Stakes, and no established leader early. Thinking Big's pressing on from the outside. Tavarun poking through. So it's Tavarun and Thinking Big, the joint leaders from Irukandji, Taka. Panzerfaust, the filly's going to settle back last, but Thinking Big just ambled across from the outside, and he's going to take the lead clearly now by a length or so, and Tavarun is getting a bit keen, and now Irukandji wishes up on the outside. So Irukandji's going to test Thinking Big for the lead. Tavarun takes hold. Bowman just wants a foul. So the Gloaming Stakes field run toward the 900 metres, and Thinking Big on a Derby trail leads by a half length to Irukandji, travelling strongly now at the 800 metres. 2 after Tavarun, still staying 1 off the fence. Taka the inside, shooting for 4 in a row today. James McDonald allows him to slide just a little bit closer now. Panzerfaust is last of a bunching field. 600 metres out, Thinking Big. Irukandji's having another pop at him now the outside. This has got Tavarun off the bridle. Taka's shown the stick on the turn on the inside. Panzerfaust is last, turning for home. Thinking Big being cuddled. Irukandji's full bore the outside. Clark goes for Thinking Big, coming back on Irukandji. Taka's 2 off them. It's Thinking Big fighting off Irukandji. Taka still 2 lengths away. He's got the job to get there. Thinking Big full of running, 150 out from Irukandji. Taka keeps coming, but Thinking Big's clear from Taka, and Thinking Big's going to lead all the way in the Gloaming. Thinking Big a big winner. Taka's second, Irukandji third, Panzerfaust ran fourth, and Tavarun was too keen in the run and finished a long last.
Looks a nice stay up. Thinking Big wins the Gloaming, and where does he go to next? Number 3, Thinking Big. Timmy Clark, Gay Waterhouse and Adrian Bott beat Taka and Eric.
But he is a quality horse. 56 days between runs. Hasn't run since a 2-year-old. Takes on an 1800 first up with some tough nuts, already group performers in the race, and just makes them look second rate. He's a Derby horse for sure and certain. And
did we see another one yesterday with Thinking Big?
Yes, he's got everything, this horse. I know it's only his roars. His first run since he was 2-year-old days in an 1800. He trialled the house down. This horse has got style, he's got attitude, he's got quality. I think he's the real thing, and who knows? You know, we're all talking the Autumn Sun, you know, being a Derby horse and all this. Here's some competition here once we get over ground. You don't see this often. I know there's only 5 runners in this race, but he owned the race. He trialled before this against, you know, an open class horse like Cabeza de Vaca. You don't see that often from a horse that's just turned 3. I love him. I really do. I think he's something special. And I know it's easy to get carried away, but that second horse, he's been good. He won his past 3, and he's a Group 3 winner. Irukandji just overdid a little bit there. I know the Melbourne horse.
This is the Schweppes Shannon Stakes, 1500 Group 2, and our mounting yard is brought to you by...
The event at Rose Hill is the Schweppes Shannon Stakes over the 1500 metres. You're making Nawara special, Brass. Small.
And they're off and racing, and Cabeza de Vaca beats them, jump well together with Kingsguard. All 2, Hoying looks to be going forward on the outside. Further back to Young Star, then Tally, and Nawar's been taken back to last. So it's beats some quarters to Tally, and still 2.5 off to Nawar, who's being very quietly ridden at the rear of the field. Down the side of the 800 metres, beats them on top by a half length to all 2, Hoying. Then Cabeza de Vaca, half the outside to Kingsguard. Then Young Star has got Tally, baby sitting her on the outer, and 2 lengths off to Nawar is starting to inch a bit closer, coming to the turn. Beats them in front of all 2. Hoying, Cabeza de Vaca being pumped along, then Kingsguard, Young Star staying towards the rails, Tully's pulling out, Nawar gets to the outside, into the straight, all 2, Hoying at the 350, moves up now to beats him, Cabeza de Vaca the rails, then Kingsguard, Nawar down the outside, Young Star hasn't got much room to go through, it's Kingsguard being tackled by Nawar the outside of Kingsguard, Young Star out late, Nawar moves up, takes the lead, and Nawar goes on to win the Shannon from Kingsguard and Young Star. Well, we'll never really know. Held up early in the straight, then came beats in the rails from Tally, Cabeza de Vaca and all 2, Hoying.
Noir, number 5, Tommy Berry and Chris Waller wins the Shannon Stakes. Number 5. Start by stablemate Invincibella, but she got the Group 2 on the board yesterday, winning the Shannon.
Another one backed into favourite, and the punters were proven correct here. She got the fly down the outside. She runs very good sectionals here. They've rushed home here, and she's done it from the back. So a very, very much underrated mare, and that Invincibella Noir form has dead set stood up there yesterday. Kingsguard was much better second up on the dry. Young Stud, she needed the run that the winner had. She was the type, the stayer, that needed to wind up, and then get into full flight the last 50. That didn't happen. I'm not saying that she would have won. It's just one of them ones you got to say, well, we'll never know. So, all honours with the winner. She second up. She's gone from 1,200 to 1,500 there, which is not easy to do, and she did a good job. Tully didn't do a bad job first up there.
Yeah, he's got
what's happening on track for you at Rosehill. Really good betting race. It's $5 the field. Invincibella $5.50 into $5 is the favourite. Alongside Champagne Cuddles, $4.60 out to 5. Prompt Response $5.50 out to 6. $5.50 to 6 for Dixie Blossom. 7 to $7.50 for Daisy Doom. Shamook's also there at $7.50. There's pretty much.
And they're off and racing, and Prompt Response broke the line well. Champagne Cuddles nicely into stride, and there goes Shamook speeding through the middle, and Shamook's going to take the lead from Prompt Response, and Daisy Doom goes to third, Champagne Cuddles fourth, then Princess Posh. Eckstein caught out deep. After 2 lengths came Invincibella on the outside of Dixie Blossoms, then Insensata, and Magic Alibi is the last one. 1,000 metres out, and Shamook leads comfortably by a length on Prompt Response. Champagne Cuddles rails to third, Daisy Doom getting a better run today fourth, then Princess Posh from Eckstein, who got across, one off the fence, 2 further back to Invincibella, shading Dixie Blossoms, and the last 2, Magic Alibi and Insensata. It's Shamook at the 7.50 in front by 3/4 to Prompt Response, held together by Oliver. Then came Champagne Cuddles. Daisy Doom's pulling out 3 wide coming to the turn. Then Princess Posh, Eckstein under the pump. Further back to Dixie Blossoms, Invincibella, Insensata and Magic Alibi around the turn, and Shamook held together in the lead by a length and a half. Prompt Response off the bridle. Champagne Cuddles coming through. Dixie Blossom, Daisy Doom battling. Then Eckstein, and further back to Princess Posh. Champagne Cuddles laying it down to Shamook. Stride for stride. Champagne Cuddles gets the head in front from Shamook. Clear from Princess Posh. Champagne Cuddles, Shamook. It's fighting back Shamook from Champagne Cuddles. Shamook, brave. I think Shamook in a photo from Champagne Cuddles. Princess Posh third. Invincibella flushing late than Dixie Blossoms. Further back to Eckstein, Prompt Response, Insensata, Magic Alibi, and Daisy Doom dropped out of it. Photo finish.
It looks as though Shamook will fight back and beat Champagne Cuddles. When she had the race won, Champagne Cuddles, she was found out at the 1,400, if indeed she has been beaten, and it looked over the line. Cuddles has a lunge. Will it be too late? Whoa. Inside on that shot. Inside on that shot. Just. And there's the photo, and there's just a margin. There's just a margin. It'll be Shamook narrowly from Champagne Cuddles. Yes, and here's the winning rider, Tim Clark.
Yeah.
The one that got away for sure. I'm convinced it would have won. Look at here, she's just charged up between horses there and just want to get into a work, the big mare, but she never gets a chance to balance up. After watching the replay a few times, I'd have to be forgiving for Bowman. He tried to follow the right 2 horses, but they didn't take him into the race. He didn't want the back of Eckstein, and she would have probably been the better option in retrospect.
Yeah, just out of the race.
For the De Bortley Wines Golden Rose Stakes over 1,400 metres. $1 million Group 1 for the 3-year-olds. And our mounting yard is brought to you by Harvey.
$3. The Autumn Sun $4 to $4.40 on the second line, and Lean Mean Machine is $5 to $5.50. Zusane, another of the Waller runners, $6.50 out to $8. Just a little.
Well, let's look at this market. So $4.40 the Autumn Sun holds the most money. Nearly actually holds double what we hold on Graph, which is your favourite. Graph at $2.90. Then Seabrook is your third best backed runner. Then Lean Mean Machine. But there's nearly
with those Group 1 Golden Rose.
And with blinkers on for the first time as the last to move into the gates. Drawn the outside. And they're all in now. Here we go for the De Bortley Wines Golden Rose. Group 1 over the 1,400 metres, and they're off and racing in a great line away. Danawi revved up out wide with Sandbar. They're the two vying for the early lead. Pretty handy is Tchaikovsky and Santos pushing on in advance of Zusain. Graf about midfield. Then Lean Mean Machine from Seabrook, and the Autumn Sun settles at the rear. So Danawi forges to the front clearly by 2 lengths on Santos, seeing plenty of daylight. Sandbar with cover in third, a couple off then to Zusain. They're getting along. A half the outside to Tchaikovsky. 2 further back to the favourite Graf from Lean Mean Machine, Seabrook, and the Autumn Sun would be 10 off the lead last. 7.50 out now, and Danawi on top by 3/4 to Santos. Sandbar trucking along in third, followed by Zusain. Looks to be coming off the fence. Yes, Tchaikovsky the outside. Lean Mean Machine's improving, going up the inside. Looks like Graf might have to come to the outside. Just lost a half length there, Graf from Seabrook with a rails hugging ride, and the Autumn Sun sees them all into the straight. Danawi swings in front of Santos, then Sandbar, Zusain running on. Lean Mean Machines into the clear, and Graf to the outside. Up to the 250, Sandbar and Zusain race to the front together. They're clear from Lean Mean Machine. Graf is starting to wind up, and the Autumn Sun. Zusain got to the front from Graf, and the Autumn Sun motoring. Zusain in front. The Autumn Sun's levelling up late. They hit it. The Autumn Sun. He's come from last. What a superstar. The Autumn Sun got up to beat Zusain and Graf. Then Sandbar from Santos, Danawi, Lean Mean Machine, Seabrook, and Tchaikovsky was last.
A star is born. The Golden Rose winner for 2018 is the Autumn Sun. From last, the Autumn Sun gives Chris Waller another Golden Rose on the back. A colt by Redute's Choice becomes a multi-million-dollar stallion when he goes to stud, Duff.
Wow, he's not just a good horse, he's a world-class horse, believe me. He's a serious horse to come back in distance against that opposition off a wet track lead-up, and it's only going to get better as these races get longer. The owner wants to win a derby with him. Surely he'll be happy with winning a race with like that along the way. That's an incredible performance. He's jumped out of the ground there. Zeus.
Impressed with this guy.
Yeah, obviously he's a special colt. You know, he's taken all before him up in Brizzy, Bernie, and you know, desperately unlucky there first up, but well played to Chris and the team, and obviously the horse put blinkers on him today, and he had to do it all. He was last, Bernie. And I was still last at sort of the 300, but what a powerful engine he's got, you know, to do that at what I really think is below his best trip. Shows you how classy he is.
Yeah. It's great.
I guess I don't need to say him too much then. He's a very good horse, as you saw. And obviously when the draw came out, I think he was 11 of 11, so it wasn't going to be easy, but I'd rather him there because I know how good he is, and for him to finish off over the top, as you said, behind a good field, it was pretty special. And I thought the stablemate was home. Looked every bit of his dad, Zustar and Zusain, surging to the front in the same race, but I think he might have been beaten by a pretty special one.
What were you thinking? Did you think he'd fight out the finish? He would have to be one of the most exciting colts you have trained, considering just not even a handful of starts.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, right from...
And a very good group of 3-year-olds.
Yeah, an outstanding group of 3-year-olds, I must say. And he had work to do, although they did really roll up front. They went pretty quick here. They haven't come home as fast as, obviously, a few other races on the day. But the performance in general is just outstanding. What can you say about him? The sky's the limit. His attitude, his conformation, everything about this horse. He's just so laid back. You know, I think we were worried about him going into the race. Well, I was worried. You know, 1,500 lead up on a heavy track, back to 1,400 for a grand final. They've whacked the blinkers on him. But how can you second guess the genius of Waller and the way he nurtures these 3-year-olds through? Look, Zusain, he's back in business, there's no doubt about it. Back on a dry track, he was just beaten by a super horse on the day there. I thought Graff didn't map to the plan there. I thought his greatest asset was he could land in the 1-1, and it didn't happen. The race didn't unfold to him as most maps suggested there. Other than that, Sandbar battled on okay. That's much what you see is what you get with him. But it's all about the winner. He's something special, isn't he?
Absolutely. I mean, the way that I guess a lot of people thought that he had to go back from that gate and there wasn't going to be enough speed on to enable him to get over the top of them. But there was a bit of speed injected in it, and Graff was, further back than we thought that he would be. And he probably didn't get with Graff, he didn't get the opportunity to follow anything into it. He thought Tchaikovsky might take him into it, but the Autumn Sun, I mean, he overcame a lot of troubles and was able to, hit the line so well. And his length of stride and the way that he motors through the line, he really is something special.
Well, Chris Waller won market, which is where he is likely to head, a $2.80 favourite. So there's the market. Now let's go to the phone lines. Oliver Kuhlman is joining us. He's
earlier on from Tom that again he's come on in his coat, so all I can say is he's getting better and better with each run.
The top weight, Folkeswood, Charlie Appleby's 6-year-old resuming. He's well travelled, has the Winx form from last spring.
He's a really fitness edge over some in his step as well, but certainly Folkeswood, he just oozes class. The dappled it up, he looked outstanding, and I think the stable should be proud of what they've been able to showcase this afternoon.
Thanks, Dino. It is the MRC Foundation Cup, a great race for charity, the old naturalism. It's time to cross to Matt Hill for the call.
Yes, thank you very much, Bash. Looking forward to this one, and really whets our appetites, doesn't it, heading towards a massive Stella Artois Caulfield Cup Carnival here at Caulfield in a few weeks. On screen, Spanish Reef, and they're racing. Ventura Storm from barrier number 1 away fairly. Odeon jump quickly straight to the lead with Northwest Passage. Rising Red, high arm push up with Spanish Reef, and also Divine Unicorn, almost 6 across the track after 200 metres. Odeon had to dip out of that with our Venice Beach. Ventura Storm followed by Sir Charles Road. Mighty Boss on the outside of Mega Blast, about 3 further back to Night's Watch, and well back Red Cardinal with also Zacada and Vonja Mask. So they climb past the 1400 metres where Divine Unicorn worked to the lead from the outside gate and tries to steady it up by a length and a quarter. Folkeswood second, Rising Red is third. Fourth in Zacada and Night's Watch. 2 lengths Red Cardinal, and Vonja Mask whips them in as they reach that top corner with about 1,000 metres to run. Divine Unicorn slackened it up 3/4 of a length to Folkeswood. Rising Red is third, and fourth the outside Spanish Reef, and then came Northwest Passage, 3/4 high arm. Next in the field, Ventura Storm, our Venice Beach from Odeon. Sir Charles Road on the outside of Mega Blast at the 750 from Mighty Boss, and then Night's Watch, who would spot the speed about 12 from Zacada, Vonja Mask and Red Cardinal. It's Divine Unicorn at the 600 metres by a half length of Folkeswood. Spanish Reef third out 3 deep. Rising Red behind them from Northwest Passage. Our Venice Beach is getting a wriggle on, followed by Odeon. Sir Charles Road out wider from High Arm as they fan around the turn from Mighty Boss. Ventura Storm back to the inside. It's Divine Unicorn grabbed by Rising Red on the rails. Our Venice Beach right down the outside. Night's Watch is running on under the arches, and they were followed by Sir Charles Road. It's Rising Red up on the inside. Night's Watch and Odeon getting through in the middle. Odeon coming at Rising Red, and Night's Watch stretched right across the track. Night's Watch under the arches has beaten Rising Red or Odeon. Sir Charles Road behind those from Mega Blast and Mighty Boss. Further back in the field, our Venice Beach, Ventura Storm and High Arm. Northwest Passage, Divine Unicorn, Spanish Reef, Zacada. Well back in the field, Red Cardinal and Folkeswood amongst the tail enders. Night's Watch will get up. Night's Watch number 10. Almost on the outside fence. We had Rising Red hard up against the inside, and then Odeon for a stride looked as though he was going to spoil the party, but Night's Watch with a withering run right down the outskirts will nail them. Number 10, Night's Watch, Damien Lane for Darren Weir, has gained entry into the Caulfield Cup by winning the Foundation Cup in a thriller from Rising Red. Linda Meach, she cut the corner, she almost...
Naturalism Stakes. Stay with us after the break, or the build-up to the Sir Rupert Clarke Stakes.
Been very, very popular since markets open. He burnt the candle at both ends, beating D'Argento and also Trapeze Artist last start. He opened up at $4.80. He's been backed into $3.40 and he touched $3.20 at one stage. There's a bit of money around for Land of Plenty, which is good. He's been solid right through the market into $6 from his $6.50 quote at 9 a.m. this morning. He's just got that tricky gate, but he'll be running on. Osborne Bulls, he's had the gap between runs, but that doesn't mean that then they've jumped off him. $6.50 and solid. Jungle Cat, Charlie Appleby looking to bounce back into a bit of form after Folkswood, $9.50 to $10. Peaceful State's been solid at $10 as well. Oregon's Day from Wait for Age, $12.
Form out of the race. And who knows, he might be capable.
Over from the UK, and yeah, we haven't seen a lot of him so far, but he may well still have a crack at the Everest. If somebody wants to make a slot available to him, it's not completely closed. He'd be a perfect horse for the Everest. We saw him highball it along at Rosehill last time out. Oh, he's about 4 or 5.
Signal, and they're racing. A beautiful line as well. Showtime towards the inside. The Best Elite with Hell of a Street and Dollar for Dollars charging forward and goes to the front with Lightning in My Veins on the outside, also on the improve, followed by Home of the Brave. Next in the field, Miss Gunpowder. Then came Jungle Cat, Sovereign Nation. About midfield, settling down into stride. They were followed by the outside, Land of Plenty, Osborne Bulls, Oregon's Day from Peaceful State, Holy Snow, Fastnet Tempest. Mr. Sneaky is at the end of the field. Dollar for Dollar to the side now at the 8.50, being pressurised by Light in My Veins. Two further back in the field, the inside Showtime. They were followed by the outside Hell of a Street, a length and a half, Home of the Brave. Then came the inside Miss Gunpowder from Jungle Cat and Land of Plenty, midfield out deeper. Sovereign Nation on the fence, and then Peaceful State's getting warm. They were followed by Osborne Bulls, Oregon's Day, Fastnet Tempest, well back Holy Snow and Mr. Sneaky. They come up towards the turn at the 400. It's Dollar for Dollar, Lightning in My Veins from Hell of a Street. Showtime the rails to the outside, Home of the Brave and Jungle Cat. Hell of a Street is hanging tough. Down the outside, Land of Plenty and Oregon's Day. Dollar for Dollar goes for home at the 200 from Lightning in My Veins. Land of Plenty down the centre of the track is running on from Jungle Cat with 100 to go. Dollar for Dollar with on the outside, Land of Plenty. Dollar for Dollar, Land of Plenty and Jungle Cat, who claws away and got up, I think. Jungle Cat in a photo finish from Land of Plenty or Dollar for Dollar. They were followed by a wall of them. Hell of a Street, Home of the Brave, and they were followed by Mr. Sneaky, Oregon's Day. Then came Osborne Bulls behind them. Then was Miss Gunpowder, Showtime, Lightning in My Veins pulls up quickly. Peaceful State, Sovereign Nation, Holy Snow and Fastnet Tempest. And it'll get up the cat. Jungle Cat, James Doyle for Charlie Appleby. In a fantastic finish, it was Dollar for Dollar, Land of Plenty, and in the middle, the Godolphin runners up there. But it's Jungle Cat, James Doyle for Charlie Appleby. We'll bowl them over in the Ladbrokes Sir Rupert Clark Stakes. Up here, that's been...
Congratulations, your first Group 1 winner in Australia. How good does that feel?
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, like it's been well documented before. I spoke about my experiences here, and I think it's the best thing I've ever done in my career. I felt after my stint down in Sydney, it really brought my riding to a new level when I went back home, and the statistics are backed up by that.
He's a beast of a horse. He just blended in the race at the right time and got there in the nick of time.
Yeah, he's a sweet horse. So this is a second Group 1.
With me, Charlie, congratulations. It's been a stellar year for you with winners at Group 1 level here, there and everywhere.
Yeah, no, it's been fantastic. Look, it's all down to the team. Shaquille, who rides this horse, he basically trains him, to be brutally honest with you. I just ask him how we're going and he says he's ready. So full credit to Shaquille and Chris and, like I said, all the guys there. Yeah, it's great to have a Group 1 winner here. It was a great, fantastic ride by James. There was plenty of pace on, more pace than I thought there would be, to be honest with you. I thought Home of the Brave was the one who was getting a lovely pitch round there, but James followed him round, and once he levelled him out and got stuck into him, he's not for lying down, as the old cat, as we call him, and he dug deep.
It's been an amazing piece of planning here with this race, because I know that the Melbourne
contest in the early stages, and Warren, I know Jungle Cat was the winner, but I thought the two efforts of the place getters, Dollar for Dollar, who ran second and made all the running from the outset, was very, very brave. And so too Land of Plenty, who, when we watched the stewards replay, was caught 3 wide on a limb basically for the entire trip.
He didn't ever get to just relax and switch off in behind them, did he, Land of Plenty? We can see midfield there in the Darren Weir stable colours and looking for that little parking spot to get in there. But as you said, the stewards' vision will show that he didn't really get in there. But you're right about Dollar for Dollar, because it was run at a solid tempo, and that's that's his natural racing style, and Luke Curry did a terrific job to get there as gradually as he could and then maintain that strong gallop, and it took a world-class international Group 1 galloper to be able to get past him. So dollar for dollar leading there and setting a reasonable tempo. Lightning by Vane sitting outside. The Godolphin galloper Jungle Cat with the blue cap's the one to keep an eye on. He almost comes out underneath Land of Plenty there at the turn into the home straight, so just pushes him that little bit wider. Land of Plenty's been in that 3 or 4 wide spot for the entire trip. Dollar for dollar gives that really good kick, and then James Doyle getting to work, whipping the left hand there on Jungle Cat, and Matty Hill at his spring best leading into it. He said he claws back the cat and just able to hold off Land of Plenty and run down dollar for dollar.
What did you make of the run of Home of the Brave, the horse who was the eventual favourite in the race? I think it showed there was a lot of pressure in this race because he couldn't even get near the lead like he had done in his previous 2 runs.
True, he rolled along in the Ori Star and was able to sort of just almost hold off Voodoo Lad there, and then I think the rain-affected ground played to his advantage also in Sydney last start, so he's on quite 2 sort of horses resuming as well. Horses that had targets.
Bo Merton, Sovereign Nation.
Very happy with his running today. Had a lovely run in behind him. Had the runs in the straight if I had the horse, but they just would just...
Damien Lane, Land of Plenty.
Yeah, terrific run. He learned to win the race, but just found one late. If he had a bit of cover and time to the race, he probably wins.
Dwayne Dunn, Showtime.
Yeah, disappointing again. He's not the same horse we've seen earlier in this prep.
Luke.
Jungle Cat, Charlie Appleby's brought a team down, ready for the spring, at a 1400 Group 1.
Yeah, and a perfect ride by this Doyle. He is the modern-day enforcer. He took offence when I called him the enforcer one day, thinking he thought I was calling him a thug. You've never heard of Mick Dittman, but he's the modern-day enforcer, where he stands over horses, this bloke, and this horse was never going to win, to tell you the truth, and he picks up, he throws him over the line. Look, he's a multiple Group 1 winner now, and he's a force to be reckoned with. In saying that, I think the third horse should have won this race, Land of Plenty. He was wide, no cover, had work to do, and he's flying at the moment. Dollar for dollar run an amazing race from the front there, a brave on-pace performance. But, how did it go around that price? I don't know.
Yeah, he set him for the race after Meydan as well, after the Alcoz sprint. He said he wanted to come and bring a team and bring a sprinter out, especially for these types of races. So the 40s had a win over a Group 2 and Meydan over the 1400, and then winner of the Alcoz his last start, and now Sir Rupert Clark.
Okay.
Yeah, touched $1.70. I'm a Star, your favourite, and back into $1.65. So she's clearly the best backed runner. The second best backed runner with Sportsbet on the night is I Am a Star. Nature Strip is the best back. So $1.60.
Racing. I Am a Star began moderately at best. The little girl's in between runners. Mellum had to give her a bit of a dig to go forward. She's going to go to the front. And she leads Canedna, and on the outside, Seductive Miss. Mrs. Gardiner, Samovar on the fence, and She's Dashing is still last. No change to the play, $7.50 out in the stock stakes. I Am a Star, the odds-on favourite, a half to 3/4 in front. Seductive Miss has played shadow much of the way. Mrs. Gardenia, leaders back, is trying to get off the rail. Outside of it, Canedna pushing out one away from the fence, Samovar. Then further back, Special Alert, and She's Dashing brought to the outside, stoked up to make ground. I Am a Star being nursed to the bend. She's clear from Seductive Miss. Mrs. Gardenia is the one that's travelled well. Leader trying to move forward. She now opens the door for Mrs. Gardenia. I Am a Star railed hard on the corner. Mrs. Gardenia the only possible danger. I Am a Star 2 in front of Mrs. Gardenia. Samovar. I Am a Star in front. There's no dangers to this bonny little mare. She's going to go all the way, and it's back to back in the stock stakes. 1 and 2 lengths Mrs. Gardenia. 3 away Samovar. Seductive Miss. Canedna, She's Dashing, never got into the race, and Special Alert last in.
Ah, super win. She's so honest. And Ben Mellum, that was a brilliant ride. She was a little slow to get away. Eventually he went forward. He dropped the tempo out of the race, but Gator, didn't she travel sweetly? And you knew that she was going to have an electric turn of foot at the end.
That's right, it's pretty painless. Okay, you got $1.90 now, punters at Sportsbet, with the favourite here, A Trap for Fools. From that gate, Bradwell Willerall just rolled with the front out of the straight for the first time, and you're with him, punters at home, $1.90 Trap for Fools. The best backed runner going into race 3, the Taj Mahal steady at the 4.
We're waiting on the Taj Mahal to get set. Mellum about racing. Caught them in a good line. Harlem ridden out of the gate from gate number 2. Mask of Time away quickly. Silent Warrior going forward, looking for the front. Trap for Fools wide out and going forward. The Taj Mahal deep as they settle from Dollar Bill. Sir Isaac Newton getting a fair way back in the field on the first occasion. They were followed by Checkered Flag. And 2 lengths away to Garlic Chieftain. Turn out of the straight. Silent Warrior to the front. Trap for Fools 2 lengths away. He's just a little bit keen at the moment. Wide out on the track is the Taj Mahal, and on the fence behind those runners in his masked flag. Harlem now found himself second last, and Gaelic Chieftain a length away at the rear of the field. Silent Warrior in charge. 750 outlet, a half length. Moving up the Taj Mahal. One away is Dollar Bill and Sir Isaac Newton taking off. Trap for Fools has got caught up behind them, running fifth, looking for clear galloping room. Gaelic Chieftain around the field. They were followed by Mask of Time, Harlem. Last of all, Checkered Flag. The Taj Mahal sprinted for home near the corner. Found 2.5 lengths, Sir Isaac Newton. Trap for Fools will need a phenomenal effort. I don't think he can win. On the outside, Gaelic Chieftain now running on strongly. The Taj Mahal corners 3 in front. Gaelic Chieftain's about 2 lengths away now, going after him. The Taj Mahal in front. Gaelic Chieftain over a length and a half away. The Taj Mahal's hanging on. Gaelic Chieftain can't get him. The Taj Mahal just in front and fell into it. The Taj Mahal by a lip to Gaelic Chieftain. 6 lengths away, Sir Isaac Newton. He got up to run third. They were followed behind those runners by Mask of Time, Checkered Flag. Well back is Trap for Fools. It looked ugly the whole race. A fair way back is Harlem, and Dollar Bill last in. The Taj Mahal will win by the skin of his teeth. He went forward. It was a positive ride on him. He sprinted for home. He knew the favourite was in traffic. Gaelic Chieftain has come from last, sweeping around the field. He has got perilously close the last little bit, but he will fail by a short half head. And the Taj Mahal at $4.90, $1.80 on the tote in a time of 2:05.37. Mellum was able.
And it's the Stud Stakes at the first leg of the quaddie, folks. Get your quaddie bets on. And it's Leonardo da Vinci here. He's the popular way. Got his head in front of Brutal at Flemington second up. He looked the winner, and Brutal fought back. And the punters just love it. The market suggests he just wins. Have a look at this. 2.15 at 9 a.m. this morning into $1.85 and now $1.90. Outrageous.
Stunner says go, they're off, and Leonardo da Vinci flew the lids. Musselbrook and Green Ivy fast out. Unfair Dismissal whizzing across, and Mark the Horse, one from the fence going forward. Line of 5 early. Mark the Horse wants the front from Leonardo da Vinci on the rail, and Unfair Dismissal. Musselbrook, Green Ivy just off the speed as they work their order out from Star of Curram to Power of Attorney. They're out 7 lengths away from Mark the Horse, who has a mid-race breather. Off the back of the 800 metres mark, he's a half in front. Unfair Dismissal sitting up in second position. Musselbrook travels strongly, so too Leonardo da Vinci, but he's bailed up. A length away, Green Ivy, Star of Curram, Power of Attorney, Farouk. Outrageous about to go past him as they begin to up the ante before the corner. 5.50 out. Musselbrook 3 wide on the move, fast with Green Ivy. Leonardo da Vinci waits on the inside run. Further back in the field, Star of Curram, Power of Attorney, Farouk well off them. Mark the Horse to the bend first. Musselbrook under pressure, a neck away. Leonardo da Vinci bursting for a run from Green Ivy. Mark the Horse straightens in front. Musselbrook's got him. Leonardo's getting out now. Will he make it in time? And Outrageous is flying. Leonardo's flying. Leonardo da Vinci takes the lead. Great effort. Goes on to win. Leonardo da Vinci, a piece of work. Second, Musselbrook. Third, Mark the Horse, or Outrageous. Power of Attorney, Green Ivy, Star of Curram, Farouk galloping on heels past the line. It was a bunch finish. An Unfair Dismissal the long last. He's a good horse, isn't he, for a 3-year-old against this grade? He had it all to do. He had nowhere to go. He was travelling well. Brad Rawiller with so much experience. For Darren Weir, Brad is the leading rider for the Weir stable since he first teamed up back in 2000. And here they are with another win in the Group 2 Stud Stakes. Marvellous performance. Musselbrook perfectly ridden second, tight third.
The Boss Group 1. Here it is. It's the Moya. Let's have a look at the market now. And, well, Nature Strip, he's the best backed runner with Sportsbet all night. He's an absolute cracker, isn't he? Tricky Gate. He's got Damien Lane in the saddle, $1.95 into $1.80 if you like. Holds a course record. Hootson, she's been very well supported with Sportsbet. She gets the box seat here from that inside barrier. Nearly ran him down. Record time. $5.50. She is steady. Vidura, $9.50. Had a little nibble. Got out to 10, back into $9.50. Ball Moya Stakes.
6 on top, Nature Strip. I think Hootson's the obvious and logical danger given the last run. It's not a fluke if you're running that sort of time. Vidora, Snitty Kitty, Quinella / Trifecta Hope. 6 on top, though.
So you're going with the champ. Well, a chance for him to prove that he's the champ.
Tonight, he's all the rage here, and the market's just suggesting that it's lock and load Nature Strip. He just wins. Now, if you jump on your Sportsbet app, for him to win by 2 lengths...
It was a Group 1. Terry Bailey believes Vidora, who was runner-up in the race last year, can win the race this year. 7, 8, 1 and 6. 4.
Not quite ready. Savannah Amore and Sprite first loaded inside gate. Signal racing. Nature Strip began in about 4th spot. He's going to be up there early. Fartanar won the break from Snitty Kitty. Nature Strip, speed from the inside. Ball of Muscle shooting through. Hootson settles down 5th from Jungle Legend Vidora. 2 lengths away is Brave Smash, who couldn't go the early speed. On his outside is Nieta. Savannah Amore and 2.5 lengths away is Nieta. Nature Strip caught wide through the gap, rushed up, and he bowled to the front now, and he went 2 lengths in front of Fartanar. Snitty Kitty, Ball of Muscle, the fence. Hootson, Vidora, well back as they come towards the bend is Jungle Edge, Nieta, Brave Smash, Sprite, and last of all Savannah Amore. Nature Strip, full bore on the corner, he's in full cry. Vidora's 2 lengths away, starting to thunder. Vidora's got Nature Strip. Vidora moves up, Brave Smash late. Vidora in front. Unlucky last year, she's the hero tonight, Vidora. Races home and wins the Moya from Brave Smash, Photo 3rd. Sprite or Snitty Kitty. Then Jungle Edge. They were followed behind those by Fartanar. Nature Strip got found out tonight. Savannah Amore well back with Nieta and Ball of Muscle last in, and she's a darling. Vidora, Joe Bowditch last year, it was the rails run that cost her victory. Tonight there was no rails run. It was clear running for Lloyd Kennywell and their wonder mare Vidora, and she has smashed them. Brave Smash has come rocketing home to run 2nd and will stand by for 12. Nature Strip worked hard to get across from the gate. He looked to be going well on the corner, and then he was gone. There was nothing, and he would think he's $1 million to 1 to be any chance in an Everest now. But Vidora, who claimed Group 1 success in the Winterbottom Stakes in WA, she was unlucky to She Will Reign when she was bailed up for a run. And Joe Bowditch tonight has done an incredible job, Dean Pettit.
Well, Joe, what a wonderful thrill this mare has given you, Lloyd Kennywell, a team of owners, including our very own Nick Lovett. What a wonder mare.
Yeah, she's a beautiful mare. She's given me the ride of my life up till now.
And a Group 1 winner in Melbourne.
Yeah, Group 1 winner in Melbourne. That means a lot, given that we've just moved here and trying to both find our feet, me and Lloyd. He's done a fantastic
work. She had a really good sprinter to chase down, but she just knuckled down to the task.
Yeah, I knew if I could be close enough. I was on the horse with the best turn of foot in the race. So when she put herself into a good spot early tonight, I thought she's going to take a world of catching from here.
Just quickly, Lloyd Kennywell.
Sacrifices, you've moved over to Melbourne and you've won a Group 1 in front of a huge crowd.
Yeah, that's my biggest moment in racing right there, right now. It's still hasn't really sunken in, but it was like watching the Winterbottom all over again. We got to the corner and I felt we had the race in our keeping. So proud of Joe. It was he moved his life over here as well, and it's obviously a big depth.
Like being on Christmas Eve, wanting to open the present, because you look like you're the winner about 500 out.
I've been like that for a month, Richo.
Really?
She's been flying on the track. There's been sort of no secret of that, really. Everything she's done has been just perfect. Great group of owners, great supporter base behind me, and starts with my wife. And, hopefully we can go on with it and possibly get that slot in the Everest. I think she deserves it.
I think she does. I mean, she's so underappreciated, and we've seen her...
Nature Strip flopped and is out of the Everest. Brave Smash, ticking over beautifully, heading to the Everest. Vedora earned her spot in the field.
Absolutely.
In one go.
Has she? Has she got a spot?
No, she hasn't got a spot, but don't you think she's earned a spot by doing this?
Magnificent training performance to get this mare in this sort of form first up against this sort of company. Obviously, the speed helped. Yeah, I think she's earned a spot. I think she's earned a slot if they want to give her one. I don't know what they're thinking and what's going on with these last two slot holders. You're hearing rumours everywhere. Love the way Brave Smash is going. Love the way he's training him. They've just kept the freshness in his legs, 1,000 metres, trip to Sydney to bring him on. They've got the blinkers 1,200 up the sleeve. They're going to get speed up front. He's very likeable, that Brave.
Definitely. Aaron, to find out what he likes for the 2,000 metre weight for age group 2.
Yeah, pretty hard to go against Egg Tart here. Her 2 lead-up runs have been sensational. She just needs a reasonable enough speed on, and I guess that's the query of the race.
It's high at 3.40. It's somewhat is Tony's on topper, and it's the other one in single figures at $6. We'll dissect that race in full in a sec.
Open now, they're off. 1 Foot in Heaven will flop back and sit towards the rear. Ace High won the start. Master of Arts going forward. So's Prince Cherie wide out. Prince Cherie surging forward and takes the early lead from Master of Arts. Now whipping up on the outside. Satono Racing goes to third in front of Who Shot the Barman. And Ace High back to fifth. So it's Prince Cherie the front runner. Favourite Egg Tart midfield as they work over the by 3/4 of a length. Now Who Shot the Barman? Bowman making a mid-race move and he takes Who Shot the Barman to the front. 1,000 metres out, draws 2 lengths in front of Prince Cherie. A half the outside to Satono Racing. Well, that move strung the field out a bit. Then Master of Arts from Ace High, who's now up in the running line. 2 further back to Egg Tart, that it's somewhat Lover. 2 further back to 1 Foot in Heaven. And Allergic was flat-footed when the sprint went into the race. It's Who Shot the Barman racing to the 600 metres, 2 lengths clear from Prince Cherie and Satono Racing. Ace High on the bridle in fourth, followed by Master of Arts. Egg Tart, Lover pulling out back to the inside. It's somewhat from 1 Foot in Heaven and Allergic's a long last. Bowman goes for home on Who Shot the Barman at the 3.75, 3 lengths clear. Ace High gets going, so does Egg Tart, and down the outside is Lover. Who Shot the Barman being tackled by Ace High, and the favourite Egg Tart giving chase. It's Ace High a length clear. Egg Tart, she's trying. Ace High going strongly. It's somewhat closing off, but Ace High's drawn clear, and Ace High goes on to win the Hill Stakes by 2. It's somewhat second. Egg Tart third. 1 Foot in Heaven making ground to fourth. Then Lover from Who Shot the Barman. Further back to Master of Arts, Allergic, Satono Racing and Prince Cherie. So all those on the speed have weakened out.
He's on target for the Cups. He's on target. Egg Tart was no match. In fact, in the end, Duffy was pulling right away.
Yeah, no excuses for anything there. He simply outstayed that lot. That was a pretty impressive performance, and they'll be going to Melbourne. Cock a hoop, I'd say. That's how you want to go into Melbourne in form like that.
Okay, Fortaloaded Doomman back.
Strong when he goes to Victoria with a full head of steam now. It's exactly what you wanted to see him do if you're part of his connections. In somewhat, he's at his peak now. Egg Tart, I just think that I'm making excuses for her, but I think the track dried out too much for her, to tell you the truth.
I agree. A lot of these horses in this race didn't handle the drying surface. It's somewhat, if you just mentioned, I thought it was a fantastic run. He looks like he's really on track now after. I thought the 2 runs in were a little bit suspect, but he's definitely back to his better form.
Yeah. Ace High's, he'll go to Victoria in really good shape.
Yeah, last horse,
he'll go to Victoria in really good shape.
Yeah, last horse, Hill Stakes, Melbourne Cup, saintly.
Off that race, it will be a vital springboard towards the big one.
Red Zell 350 currently with Tab in this race. Look, the horse they're backing, Shoals, and we've seen horses from off the speed win today. We know Shoals, that's sort of a racing style. 14 into $9 throughout the course of today.
Get Tony's thoughts on Shoals as we work through. Trapeze Artist is number 2, 360, 390, back to 380 on track press.
Yes, and tended to spin his wheels a bit last time. Third behind Home of the Brave at Rose Hill. A bit wobbly in the betting there too.
2 to move up. Here we go. 2 weeks out, the dress rehearsal for the world's richest race on turf. It's the Premier Stakes.
The lights on. We're set for action. The favourite Red Zell's drawn the inside gate. Racing now on the Premier, and Red Zell left well off the inside. Scholes was quickly into stride, and Invincible Star as well wide out. Music Magnate is pushing through into a prominent role. Trapeze Artist just behind them. Scholes drifts back now, followed then by In Her Time mustering along the rails. Santa Ana Lane is second last, and Invincible Gems at the rear. It's Red Zell and Invincible Star cutting out the lead, and Red Zell leads by a half of the 800 from Invincible Star. 2 off to Music Magnate. In Her Time on the improved to fourth inside Trapeze Artist, then Santa Ana Lane from Scholes, and Invincible Gem the last one inside the 550. It's Red Zell the favourite on top from Invincible Star. Music Magnate peeling 3 wide. In Her Time slipping up the inside. Trapeze Artist to the outside as they straighten up now, and Red Zell cruising in the lead. In Her Time about to come off heels. Trapeze Artist to the outside. Invincible Star's in bother. Santa Ana Lane's heading the line well. In Her Time lays it down to Red Zell. Santa Ana Lane's closing off. In Her Time and Red Zell. Scholes with a big run late. In Her Time. Santa Ana Lane the inside. Scholes the outside. Santa Ana Lane goes home best. Wow, what a horse. Santa Ana Lane got up on the post to beat either Scholes or In Her Time. Then Trapeze Artist. Further back to Invincible Gem from Red Zell. Invincible Star weakened out, and Music Magnate.
Reshape the market, pull it down, Munsey, and start again. Santa Ana Lane up on the inside is going to win the Premier Stakes. Is it a Quinella here for Anthony Freedman, with Scholes down the outside? In Her Time in the centre, who loomed up and hit the lead. Who's going to run second here? It's Santa, and maybe In Her Time just in front of Scholes.
Not much in it.
Not much in it. Not much in it. Now, what time? Well, gee whiz. What have they run? Well, that's incredible. They have never broken 1.8 here at Royal Randwick. They've smashed the track record. A huge southerly behind them. They've run 1:7.45.
Yeah, and a bunch finish, so that tells you the wind has really got up their tail there. So, you know, if you see a horse break a track record like that, they usually win by panels legitimately, but that's just the wind. That's the conditions we're playing with today. It's a pretty strong rush home. They're certainly getting the 2-year-olds both broke records.
Winning rider, Benny Millum.
Well, Benny's got a pretty big smile on his face, and why wouldn't he, Benny? This has been spruiked as a mini Everest here today, so a practice run, and you've come up trumps.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he's in fantastic order, this horse. He's really come into his own, this preparation, and we're really happy with him coming into it.
Freedman runners, Quinella the Premier Stakes, just in between them, In Her Time. Take it away, Duff and Lizzie.
Well, what can you say here? We have 2 stablemates here. Santa Ana Lane, it's just unreal how he's turned things around the past couple of seasons. When you look at his record now with a Goodwood, a Stradbroke, and obviously the Premier leading into an Everest here, and Scholes is just looking unbelievable. Both these horses from the same stable. I think they're going to be presented perfectly to run right up to their best on Everest Day, and to think that they've Quinella this race is just incredible. In Her Time, you'd be over the moon with that performance in course record time. First up, you'd say she'd improve, and then we can go down the line. Well, Trapeze Artist, well, his second up form tells us that he's still yet to run a place second up, and his third up form, you have a look at his third up form, bang, 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 all at Group 1 level. So people will make a case for him, and I even want to make a case for Red Zell. I'm a bit of a perv for Peter Snowden the run before the grand final, and he just was too fresh.
Yeah, way too fresh. You could see he had his mouth cocked open, and he was over-travelling and just overdoing it. There's no way that he was going to be able to finish off strongly over 1200 the way that he was racing in the early stages of that race. And even Kieran McAvoy, after he came back, he was still quite happy. He said that will top him off nicely, and he's got a lot of faith in the horse.
Scholes, Tim Clark.
Hit the line well. Appreciated stepping out to 1200. Would love a drop of rain.
Corey Brown, In Her Time.
Really, really good. Really happy the way she run. Red Zell, I think from the hot speed, just dropped a little bit quick for me. It would have been nice for him to tome into the race a little bit further. She's the winner if that happens, but she ran well on track.
Ty Anglin, Trapeze Artist.
He was good. His form says that he labours a little bit second up and peaks third up, so I thought he went well enough to improve a lot more third up.
Red Zell, Kieran McAvoy.
Yeah, he raced a little bit free through the first furlong. Thought he'd come back underneath me a little bit as we got to sort of the half mile, but he was just left wanting over that last furlong, so with that out of his system, he's going to be spot on for the Everest.
Invincible Jet.
Racing is done. We've got a $7 the field now. Vega Magic stayed at home and became equal favourite. So, Vega Magic.
Should have won last year. Yeah.
Had a similar preparation. Blinkers on here, ran very well.
Yeah. Santa Adelaide we've covered.
Yeah.
In Her Time we've covered. Trapeze Artist third up. Red Zell, you're forgiving.
Yep, he will improve.
Shoals.
I'm like her. I like her.
Any feeling on the Coolmore horse US Navy flag?
There's a couple of big bets on him yesterday, 15 into 11. Someone had 5 or 10,000 on him. You know, he's the... No one knows, you know...
I know they keep talking about X factors. Well, he is that. He is that. Because we've got a big X next to his name. Brave Smash we've spoken about. Well, there he is. He's still there.
Still there.
He's arrived. He's back on the scene.
Fedora's $15. Graff's $17. English. Now, she's going to work between races at...
Run Made of Heaven, and I think she might be able to give the favourite a bit of a run for its money. Certainly a great each-way bet. I don't think you'll miss their each-way Made of Heaven. To beat Miss Fabulous, Pretty in Pink will be closing off hard.
She was ridden quietly and bounced back with a bang, winning brilliantly the T-Rose. Perfect draw, or is it a perfect draw? Probably is, with that last winner come up the inside there, so only has to reproduce that last start performance to be hard to beat.
Yeah, well,
Pretty in Pink at $6.50. All three of those clashed, along with 6 others in the T-Rose Brass, won brilliantly by Miss Fabulous in the John Singleton colours.
In the Singleton colours.
He's at home. Racing, Miss Fabulous has jumped out with them. White out, Missy was fast into stride, and Simi is mustering together with Santa Catarina. They're followed by Pretty in Pink, who gets going on the outside of Aristocratic Miss Made of Heaven, and Miss Fabulous is going to settle about 6th. 2 further back, 2 Fiesta from Fundamentalist, Baccarat Baby. They're followed after a gap in the field, then to a hood from Nikita Jane, and Food 2 is the last one. Up front it's Santa Catarina, the New Zealand filly, taking the lead. Then Baccarat Baby from Fundamentalist for 2, and Nikita Jane is the last one. At the 800 metres here, and it's Santa Catarina just in front from Mezzi and McAvoy, taking closer order on the favourite Miss Fabulous. She's going up to make a line of 3 on the home turn. Fiesta getting onto her back, then Aristocratic Miss Simi between them. Further back to Pretty in Pink, Made of Heaven in a pocket. Wider out a hood from Fundamentalist for 2. Baccarat Baby and Nikita Jane into the straight now, and Mizzy and Miss Fabulous the outside, and Miss Fabulous being popped. The question, Fiesta's going with her. Miss Fabulous a half in front to Fiesta. They're clear from the rest. Miss Fabulous being challenged by Fiesta. Fiesta takes a narrow lead from Miss Fabulous. A hood is charging home with Nikita Jane. It's Fiesta just in front. Fiesta from Miss Fabulous. A hood flying. Oh, great three-way go. I'm not sure here. A hood's gone to Fiesta, and Miss Fabulous kicked on. Nikita Jane inches away the outside. Then Baccarat Baby, Aristocratic Miss, Pretty in Pink, Fundamentalist Mizzy, Santa Catarina Simi, and for 2. Let's take stock here. This is a dramatic finish.
In line, who's won it? Miss Fabulous the inside. Fiesta 1 out, and about to come into the frame is a hood. Still a maiden before today, and Nikita Jane down the outside. Who's going to get it? It's going to be a hood, a maiden, no longer.
I would think so. That's a better angle we got here.
A hood will get it.
Yep, you would think so.
What's run second and third, though? A hood has done it, finally. A 1-3, hang on, Bernie, 1-3 Fiesta second, 13 has run third, and 2 has run fourth. Over to you.
Oh, this is so exciting. You had us going for a little bit there, Greg. That's right, I had delivered the news, and it is great news. Fancy winning a Group 1 as your maiden.
Yeah, it's obviously very exciting. She comes so close as a 2-year-old in the slipper and the size, and she's been running well. Probably learnt today we've been probably riding her wrong, probably just trying to ride her too close, and just rode a bit quieter today, and it was a bit messy. There wasn't a lot of tempo, and there's a fair bit going on in front of me, but just rode to have the last shot at them, and actually thought the film.
Her runs have been real pass marks, and she's been behind, as you guys would have seen when she came up from Melbourne. She was behind in a coat, and it's come through today. When I got up here on Tuesday to see her have a gallop, I thought, well, this is going to be her best run, which it needed to be, and very, very exciting.
She hasn't missed a dogfight.
Stakes, $1 million maiden going into this, breaks her duck and wins a Group 1.
Yeah, she's just been a little bit slow to come to hand this prep, and she really peaked on the right day here. It was her turn, and she deserved it as well. Up to a mile, she did a fantastic job getting the bob in, and you can't deny her this win. Fiestas, what a ripper she is. She's got such a big heart, and she's been fantastic winning the Princess Series, obviously, all the way through here, winning the Silver Shadow, and then second, Furious T-Rose Flight. So, and a big job by Star Thoroughbreds. They've won this Princess Series 3 times. Dan Glisser, Fox Play, and now Fiesta. Not a bad job from a syndication company to win with a filly that series, because it's not easy to do. What are we saying about this Miss Fabulous? She's obviously still work in progress. She doesn't adapt to tempo. She wanted to get her head up and pull. She's a very talented filly, but she's still got a lot to learn as far as race sense is concerned. I thought her effort was pretty good, actually.
Well, you'd probably be looking at running her at this stage in her preparation. I'm sure she'd probably have a bit of a break now, but you'd be running her over 1,400 rather than a mile, because she's not settling. She's just overdoing it. Kieran just said he couldn't hold her. He just had to just come out, because otherwise he was going to run over the top of Tommy. So
with a pedigree like hers,
it was pretty close on the line. There wasn't a lot in it.
Good.
You know, she was tough.
She could have dropped out. She could have dropped out.
She could have thrown the towel.
Anything else that was upside, so dropped out of the race.
Exactly.
The couple of horses I would like to make a mention to is Nikita Jane. I thought she did a terrific job coming from back in the field. She was last at the top of the straight and weaved through, and it was an excellent effort.
2 improvers there Mark Newnham's got there. Made Heaven's the same. She ran well, and like you said, Nikita Jane.
Best racing prep.
They paid late entry. They had
20 runners in the Tab Epsom handicap over a mile. It's Group 1. A capacity for...
Up, and then he was only just pipped there on the post. The draw maps perfectly for him. I've got Pirata on top of Unforgotten, then D'Argento, and good old Hartnell is only giving away a few kilos to these. I'm sure Hartnell will run well, but Pirata's the pick for the...
Randwick Turf for the Tab Epsom Handicap for 2018, worth $1 million, of course, at Group 1 grade. Unforgotten, the favourite at $4. D'Argento's at $4.20. Your best bet all day, Brass, is Pirata, who was very good, running close second.
The mile gets underway here at Royal Randwick, and they're off. Invictus Prince gets back and taken back after the starters. Champagne Cuddles beats them, one of the first into stride. From Red Excitement, Religify and Tom Melbourne caught out deep. Siege Quebec pushing into a forward position, followed by Murakeb, then Hartnell. Goodfellas off the track from Parada, then D'Argento. They're followed further back to Duke of Valentinois on the white cap. Then came further back to Unforgotten from Single Gaze. It gives away a big start. Invictus Prince, then came Shillelagh. Well back in the field then is Mr. Seawolf as they go past the 900. Lanciato the inside. Champagne Cuddles and Paredes second last. Beats them lead to the 800 metres. Tom Melbourne seeing daylight second. Murakeb third from Siege Quebec. 2 further back to Religify. Red Excitement. D'Argento's poking through along the inside running rail. Then came Hartnell. Goodfella deeper out from Invictus Prince. Pirata's one off the fence. Duke of Valentinois the outside. Unforgotten in the second half of the field with Lanciato. Shillelagh's making hard work of it. Then came New Tipperary and Champagne Cuddles heads the rest. Beats him. Comes up the rise a length in front of Tom Melbourne. D'Argento, the greys letting down. Siege Quebec tries to go with him. Then Murakeben further back to Hartnell. D'Argento in the centre takes a narrow lead from Siege Quebec, and Hartnell the outside under his top weight. Hartnell moves up to D'Argento. Hartnell, D'Argento, stride for stride. They hit it. Frodo there. Hartnell and D'Argento, who kept kicking. Unforgotten flying at the end with Shillelagh. Then Murakeb from Invictus Prince beats him. Lanciato, Siege Quebec, Mr. Seawolf late from Red Excitement, Tom Melbourne, Parada, Goodfellow, then Perrette, Champagne Cuddles, Duke of Valentinois, Religify, New Tipperary, and Single Gaze. It's a photo finish.
It's a thriller. It's a tight go here between Hartnell and D'Argento. The grey and the old warrior Hartnell. Has he got up with his 57 kilos? D'Argento grabbed by Hartnell. D'Argento fighting back. Heads up, heads down. Here's the line. Hartnell will win the Epsom. Hartnell, number 1.
Had a champion in Winks, so a great decision to run him here. What a fighting performance from the grade D'Argento, who went down fighting. She just wants further than a mile, Unforgotten, beaten but far from disgrace, with Shillelagh flying home late there.
Tiger I want to be on in a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And he never runs a bad race, the horse. I've only ridden him in one race, the All-Age Stakes last year, and it's a bit short for him. But look, James is just, he's kept him to shorter trips since he's taken over the head role at Godolphin, and he's always performed very well. And I know I wear the royal blue when I ride Winks, but I'm very proud to represent His Highness Sheikh Mohammed in the Godolphin Cup. I was able to work into it. I did see James go through and hit the lead, and I thought, I'm not going to catch that horse because I know the talent that he's got. But when I came round, you know, I didn't rush through my gears. This horse has to be balanced to show his best. So I didn't rush. I just let him get organised, and when I got out after D'Argento, I could sense that I was going to get to him, and I was surprised I didn't beat him a bit more comfortably, to be honest, in the end. But I'm just so...
Look, I just really can't believe it. But, you know, you've got to have belief in the horse, and he's a super horse, Hartnell. He's just had a great build-up to this event. You had him here third up. It was a bold move running him in an Epsom when he could have run at weight for age and been a chance in the Hill Stakes in an earlier race. But look, he had a 57. He's just dropped in the ratings a few points, and I had a good chat to Greg Cubbon, as a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago, and he reminded me that these horses, they're tough. They're trying to be lured into running in these big handicaps, and look, we probably had two horses in the stable that could have won this Epsom, but there's no more popular winner than Hartnell, and that's...
Again, with one slot remaining, we come out of the weekend with 2 slots remaining, but here's the Epsom, and Hartnell wins with 57 on his back.
Yeah, and look, he was, who would have thought, the only horse that had Bowman's weight, and Eusbin had the association, obviously, with D'Argento, and he's been singing his praises, and he gets up and beats him on the line here. Look, he's, what's this, his 4th Group 1 now, Hartnell. He's been a terrific horse. He's probably, without Winks, he'd have a lot better record than a lot of horses in Australia at the moment. But a wise decision, you know, back to a handicap. You know, they had other options with him, Godolphin, and he actually got into that race quite nicely and asserted just that little bit of class that he's got. I thought he was terrific, D'Argento. He was given every hope, but he fought on well. She was just not sharp enough for the mile, Unforgotten. Unfortunately, she wants 2,000 metres plus now. I still think there was a lot of merit in that performance.
So answered the question that you think that she would be more suited to a race like the Caulfield Cup then?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm bullish that she's looking for the Caulfield Cup distance, and I think it's out there that Chris wants to run her in a Caulfield Cup, so I think you can just tick that off.
Just out of...
We've got run down. The winner's too good.
Karen McAvoy, Unforgotten.
Big run, yeah. She's just struggled to travel along the back of the tempo, but she had to make up a lot of ground in the straight, which she did, and huge run.
Michael Walker Shillelagh.
Super run, 2,000 here, 2 weeks time she'll win.
Corey Parrish, Murakeb.
Yeah, super run. Got in the box seat, very nice. Travelled and had another win that last 100, and I thought it was a very gutsy effort.
Beat some Tim Clark.
Yeah, really good effort. Bowled along out.
Corey Brown, Pierata.
I was a little disappointed, Lizzie. Down the back, the actual winner sort of half-lengthed him and shoved him back a pair further than I wanted to be. But speed was good, but he just didn't have that electric sprint that he normally has. He was a little bit...
Well, D'Argento's $17 in a Cox plate now after that. The last 4 years now, I know, well, Winks won it with 57, but the weights all change.
Keep on winning, and I've made him the each-way best on the card here today. To beat Brimham Rocks is just about there. I think he's a huge danger. Big Duke always performs well when he comes up to Sydney, and Patrick Aaron shouldn't be too far away either, but Highbridge...
Brimham Rocks is the favourite at 4.20. Big Duke shares the second line with Highbridge, and Big Duke is... your best value bet of the day.
Yeah, thought he was the right sort of price for us. He comes off the 5th last time at Randwick in the Kingston 10. It was good, solid sort of performance.
And the big fielder off off and racing. No speed by a High Bridge. Mid-term taken back. It's going to settle towards the rear with opposition. And Secandrabat and Sedans are the first two into stride. Moving up is Brimham Rocks, very wide out of the straight from Wall of Fire. The two towards the inside are Allwood and Patrick Erin, who've got great positions. The Lord Mayor's bustling through the centre. Then High Bridge recovering on the outside of Orvray. Jake's Hill is pretty deep. Further back to Miss Admiration, 3 wide around Big Duke. Midterm's gone down to the fence. Cinderwind's caught pretty deeper on the outside of Natoya. Then just Lord Mayor shooting for 3 in a row, and he leads the Metropolitan field towards the halfway mark by a length on Brimham Rock. Sedans are in third, followed by Jake Hill, the roughie, doing work on the outside of Secandrabat. Miss Admiration's moving up out wide with cover. Then came Allwood from Wall of Fire. Further back to Patrick Erin. Cinderwind's out very deep on the outside of High Bridge. Further back to Orvray, Big Duke, Natoya 3 wide. Then came Midterm from Libran, Just Shine, and opposition trying to pick up from the tail of the field. They're starting to bunch a bit down the side of the 800 metres. The Lord Mayor in front by a half to Brimham Rocks. Jake's Hill third. Then Sedanza from Secandrabat. Miss Admiration 3 out. Cinderwind goes forward out 4 deep, followed by Wall of Fire. Then came Allwood. High Bridge gets going, and further back then to Patrick Erin as they race to the home turn. It's the Lord Mayor in front narrowly from the favourite Brimham Rocks. Then Secandrabat, Jake's Hill, Miss Admiration gets going. Allwood's going back to the inside together with Sedanza. Patrick Erin's picking up well, and further back to High Bridge. Brimham Rocks takes the lead from Secandrabat. Then the Lord Mayor, Sedanza and Patrick Erin inside the 150. Brimham Rocks in front from Secandrabat. Brimham Rocks ahead in front. Secandrabat, Patrick Erin late. Here's another close finish. Patrick Erin goes to Brimham Rocks, and I think Patrick Erin's got up in the last bound. It's a photo. Patrick Erin and over on the inside, Brimham Rocks with Secandrabat between them in third. Then Sedanza from Midterm, Big Duke, the Lord Mayor, Just Shine. Then came Allwood, Cinderwin, High Bridge, opposition Libran, Wall of Fire, Jake's Hill, Orvray and Natoya.
Patrick Erin will get up and defeat the stablemates Brimham Rocks. Patrick Erin, the Kiwi, going out after Brimham Rocks, Secandrabat in the centre. But when they get to the line, Patrick Erin will put his nose down. Number 6 will be in the frame. Patrick Erin, is it just? Gee, that's tighter than what it looked when we first had a look at it. But the photo's up now and it gets it. Patrick Erin, Brimham Rocks, Secandrabat.
Yeah, that's the one. That's good carnival time, you know. Getting down to the light weights, and when you win like big races like this, it's definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, indeed. Now, you're saying you got a little bit shuffled back further than what you would have liked?
Yeah, look, I thought I'd sort of land midfield, but there wasn't any speed on paper, so we're just going to play it by ear, and just see what happened. And I sort of landed running 5th or 6th. Then the speed just kept coming out of the race, and I got shuffled right back. Probably worse than midfield, but once the runs appeared in the straight with no weight on his back, he actually picked up and lengthened really, really well.
So that's sort of exciting leading into the Melbourne Spring?
Yeah, for sure.
I knew we had to get him ride the weight, and he's a great rider.
Well, what do you think you'll do with Patrick Erin now?
I think, I'm not sure, maybe look at something bigger. Obviously you got the St Leger here in 2 weeks, and obviously you got the Cups in Melbourne, so I think 2 miles is really...
Kiwi, well, we've got 2 imports for Chris Waller, a Kiwi and of course Brimham Rocks running first and second.
Yeah, this race always looked a bit of a worry tempo-wise on paper, and that's how it turned out. They've really rushed home in this race, 33.96, and this is one of the slow races of the day, would you believe? On a time they didn't get near the record, so it's whoever had the best turn of speed. The stable were bullish about his chances. It was his 3rd up since the Sydney Cup. He had 5 weeks between runs last time. Just beautifully set up horse here. Brimham Rocks likewise. Some people may say, oh, McAvoy 1 kilo over, that's cost it the race. Yeah, maybe, maybe not. That's what. It's very hard to get a jockey to ride 50 kilos, but there'll be some people picking on that. What do we want to say about the rest? Big Duke didn't really get clear running there. So Secandrabat was pretty good, showing good fight. High Bridge that was his first time at that level, and I think he's work in progress. He did a good job considering the way the race...
To the Guineas prelude, we've seen 4.
In that gate, I'm expecting to land in a good spot. And Tavasan, I think this is another
very talented individual. Native Soldier should go forward and Good and Fast. So a couple of converging.
And it's $6 the field, so it is very difficult. Declaration of Heart last time we looked was $5, now it's $6. Good and Fast just into $6.50, and Longleaf is probably the one moving of late. It's into $6.50 as well. Now
Gates are back and they're racing. Vacillator towards the inside, a touch slow. Good and Fast back to fourth. Last Tabasan straight to the lead from Native Soldier, who's working over from the deep. Wagner behind those and Thorondor fourth the inside. They were followed by Predecessor, Fighting Harada and the August on the fence. Next Marcel from Madrid midfield from Mr. Exclusive, and then Declaration of Heart and Good and Fast with Longleaf in that group from Acadian, Vacillator and Ragged Rascal at the tail of the field. To the side now at the 900 and zipping off into the lead is Native Soldier by 2 lengths to Tabasan. A similar gap to Wagner, third from Thorondor, fourth the fence, then Fighting Harada wide. A length and a half Predecessor, followed by the August who rides the rails. They reach the 650 metre marker, about a length and a half to Declaration of Heart, Mr. Exclusive in that group, and then Marcel from Madrid, Longleaf 2 lengths Good and Fast, then Ragged Rascal, and they were followed by Vacillator second last. Acadian is at the end. Native Soldier around the turn at the 400 metres from Tabasan, 3/4 of a length away. Thorondor next, then Wagner, and behind those the August, the inside from Longleaf down the centre of the track with a bit to do, but Native Soldier at the 200 metres, still clear by a length and a quarter to Tabasan, now a length and a half. The Soldier's going pretty well. Native Soldier 2 lengths to Tabasan, Longleaf the August, but Native Soldier back to Caulfield, bolts in from Tabasan, Longleaf third, fourth a photo, Mr. Exclusive the August, then Thorondor, behind them Wagner, Good and Fast, Ragged Rascal, Declaration of Heart, Never Warm from Marcel from Madrid, Predecessor, Vacillator, Fighting Harada, and at the end Acadian. In fairness, not a lot changed. Native Soldier went to the front from Tabasan, and there they stayed. Native Soldier, Ben Allen for Darren Weir again. That is win number 4 for the day for Darren Weir. And this horse, who excelled in the McNeil 2 starts ago at this venue, in fact impressed. And
ask Moods, and Moods asked you about which horses you'd like to go forward into the 1,000 guineas. What about the Caulfield guineas? Native Soldier, is he going to be as effective up to the mile, do you think?
The one I want wasn't here today. He was in his box at Chris Waller's stable, the Autumn Sun. Native Soldier, I thought it was a very well judged ride from Ben Allen. He used Tabasan to get across from the gate. He didn't rush the horse forward. Got a nice little breather down the side and sprinted well off the turn. I find him a little bit like Sweet Melody. I just wonder whether he might just be a more short course horse, and I think they can get away with these wins at the 1400 at Caulfield because it's soft over the hill, where the mile they go the first furlong up the hill, and that might find them out. Tabasan had his chance. Longleaf worked home fair from back in the field.
The way he's beaten them there, though, is there anything from that race that'll turn it around, mate?
Well, can they turn it around at a mile? That'll be interesting, and whether it's going to change the dynamics of the race at a mile, I'm not sure. But would hard to be confident. But most of the backmarkers there seem to struggle to get into the race.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to have a look at the sections of that and see if there's a listen, Honours with the winner. He's got the job done nicely. He got a little bit lost down the outside fence at Flemington the other day and rebounded quickly here today. But I don't think the Autumn Sun broke out into a sweat having a look at that race, worrying about the opposition in 2 weeks' time.
No, he looks the one.
And from into $9. Outside of that, Declaration of Heart wasn't a great run from Declaration of Heart, so it's gone out. It's off the board. The Autumn Sun's there at $2.80 as favourite, with Leonardo da Vinci at...
Yeah, could potentially be, but I think they'll be positive and allow her to roll along. Gee, she was impressive. Like I said, she's got a cruising speed.
The spring.
Another test for this unbeaten filly. Let's head up to Matt Hill for the call of the 1,000 guineas prelude.
Yes, 4 from 4, Dave. Exciting to see her back at the track here with Brenton Avdulla aboard, and you're getting $2 at the moment. Did touch $1.95 on official prices. And racing. Pretty good line as well. Asherani a touch slow. Beginning well Anjana, with also Moltaja and Spanish Whispers pushing up with Satin Slipper. So they complete the first 200 metres. Spanish Whisper the leader from Satin Slipper, and they were followed by Smart Melody gliding up to third from Anjana, and they were followed by Asherani on the improve out deeper. Further back in the field then is Music Bay and Moltaja, 2 lengths to Thrillster off the track, with also Eldorado Dreaming in that group, and Crystallize and Eways the fence, followed by by Quafila, and Aristia is at the end of the field. Spanish Whisper is the front runner on the railway side at the 750 from Smart Melody. They were followed by Satin Slipper third. The inside Asharani got to fourth, out deeper from Multaja, then Thrillster around Anjana. Then came Music Bay and Eldorado Dreaming from Crystallize, and well back as E-Ways with also Quafila and Aristia. They come up towards the home corner. Spanish Whisper with Smart Melody on the outside, about to throw down the challenge now. 350 metres to go. Smart Melody moves up and takes Spanish Whisper. Then came Thrillster to the outside from Multaja, back behind the Music Bay and Eldorado Dreaming. Smart Melody goes for home though below the 200 metres. 3 lengths to Thrillster and Jana. Smart Melody clear, getting a bit tired though. Thrillster's charging out of it. Smart Melody remains unbeaten. Won it by a length to Thrillster. Eldorado Dreaming third from Anjana. They were followed by Quafila and Aristia from Music Bay, E-Ways, Multaja, Spanish Whisper, Satin Slipper. Then came Asharani, and at the end was Crystallize. Smart Melody didn't pump away from them. She did at the top of the straight, and she got a bit tired, but has seen it out well enough from Thrillster. Gave game chase, and Eldorado Dreaming in third money. It'll be 3, 2 and 1. Smart Melody. Brenton Avdulla for Chris Lees. 5 from 5. This filly by Smart Missile out of Sweetest Melody. She just continues to answer the questions. Smart Melody first. And a
test it off the back of her, watch the videos and see how she does. But she has jumped from 1100 a fortnight ago, so I think there's a lot of positives there.
How many horses can maintain an unbeaten sequence, particularly when they get into group company? What makes her so special? Yeah,
well, she's got a really natural, good turn of foot, as you've seen today, and really tough filly. And she's a big, imposing filly, taking on some of these 3-year-old fillies, so she's got a lot of attributes.
Quick word on El.
Certainly the runner-up was reeling her in pretty fast over that last 100 metres, but she got the job done today, and it was still a good win.
Oh, she's a winner, and probably got to the front a little bit soon, and maybe got a little bit lost and a little bit wayward, and as Chris Lees rightly pointed out, 1100 up to the 1400, so she was probably entitled to get a little bit tired late, but she just profiles and looks like that good sharp sprinter, and I just wonder whether she might be more a Coolmore horse. The second horse was super. Thrillster, she was 5 and 6 deep, the trip in no man's land, and rounded the race off nicely, as did the third horse, Eldorado Dreaming. I think there's your Oaks runner all over. Didn't get held up, didn't get impeded, but just looked a little bit uncomfortable this way first time and in amongst them, but when got a bit of room and stretched and hit the line nicely. So, you know, nothing away from the winners. Superb effort, undefeated 5 from 5. But
if you could have any horse out of that race, though, going forward for the girls, to the 1,000 guineas, which one would you want?
I'd take Thrillster to the 1,000 guineas, Eldorado Dreaming for the Wakeful and Oaks. Can I have 2?
You can have as many as you want, mate.
And, well, we saw Smart Melody win $4.60 before today, and now into $3.60. Smart Melody. Eldorado Dreaming has been the big shortener. 11s into 6s after today. Thrillster has come into $7, which has pushed Fiesta out to 9. Miss Fabulous out to 11. Hood into 11 off the back of that win as well on the weekend. Then we go to Wink.
We have a look at the Group 1 Underwood Stakes. Only one horse since the mid-1960s has been able to win this race twice. That was the Legend Northerly. And we've got the past 2 winners of this race, Blackheart Bart and Bonnevale, and both look to be up against it a little bit on their recent form.
Yeah, they do. Both probably need to turn it up a notch, don't they, on what we've seen. Blair House, for the boys there, just paraded in front of us. He looks magnificent, and with the hood on as well. Not sort of unusual, the European horse, a European trained horse. You don't...
Underwood Stakes, Hutchie, your tip?
Yeah, the Raider, the International Raider. I think Charlie Appleby's got a great chance here with Blair House. I mean, it's always a spec when you're going with international horses. They've got a lot needed to go their way when they travel here, but I think he's good enough.
Continues to be the best back to beat Grunt. Last time we looked at Homesman, it was at $5. Now it's under that mark into $4.80, and Blair House just out of turn to $5.50 as a result for the money for number 8. Humidor did touch 7 actually before coming back in to $6.50 coming through. Rock solid 7. That's a good sign in this sort of market. It's just
1800 signal, and they're off. Blair House missed the start by a length and a half, and Bonnevelle's going back with it. Grunt began well with Homesman and coming through, ridden forward. Blackheart Bart behind those with Ambitious. Humidor, and they were followed by Toes and Basil third to last, and 2 for the backers. Bonnevelle the outside of Blair House. So they climb past the 1400 metres. Homesman off the rails. Grunt out 3 deep, coming through, keeps them off. They were followed by Blackheart Bart, Ambitious, and Humidor 6 the rails. Next Toes and Basil, Blair House second last, and Bonnevelle whips them in. 1200 metres to go, and Grunt has worked to the lead. lead. So it's Grunt, the last start Group 1 winner in front, 3/4 outside of Blair House as they reach the 1,000 metres. So it's Grunt at a steady fraction, 3/4 of a length, now a half length Homesman. Blackheart Bart 3 deep, coming through fourth the fence. They were followed by Ambitious, tucked away the centre. A length to Tozen Basil at the 800. Further back is Humidor, Bonneville and Blair House. So it's Grunt, a neck in front of Homesman as they approach the 600 marker. Blackheart Bart 3/4 of a length away, 3 deep. Coming through the inside from Ambitious, then Tozen Basil. Bonneville's getting a wriggle on. Humidor back to second last. Blair House at the end of the field as they run the corner and Sewell up. It's Grunt and Homesman together. They were followed by coming through behind those from Blackheart Bart, regressing past by Tozen Basil. Bonneville to the outside with Humidor. Blair House sticks to the inside. Homesman goes to the lead at the 200. Tozen Basil's the threat the outside. It's Homesman a neck in front of Tozen Basil. Humidor late. Homesman at the 100s fighting. It's gritty. Tozen Basil's coming at it hard. Homesman, Tozen Basil, they hit it. Homesman, the big man, lifts and won it. It is Homesman just from Tozen Basil and then Humidor. A gap in the field to a photo coming through was prominent. Blair House Grunt not far away, then Ambitious, Blackheart Bart, Bonneville in a group. Homesman at 5:20 and 170 has won it. Homesman defeats Tozen Basil, who was going to spring a surprise. Humidor late. It's Homesman winning 8, 4 and 2. 8.
We're up to 16 and going well. Got some nice horses and good support from stables like this, and certainly makes my job easier.
Well, this one will be an enjoyable one because, I mean, Team Williams, they've had so much faith in you. They ring you when...
Valley in the data ran really well, I thought. Up to a suitable trip today, and blinkers back on. He's just a real tradesman, this bloke, and credit to the stable, they're going well. And
That's twice we've seen him here at Caulfield. First time against Elmand, and then again today, where he's shown such fight.
Yeah, he's a tough animal. There's no doubt about that. He's very genuine, very honest. Ben gave him a great ride. He rated him beautifully. I think 1800's a bit short of his optimum trip. But anyway, it's great to get the Group 1 up for him, and it's fantastic. That gives him ballot-free exemption into the Caulfield Cup, and I'd imagine that all things being equal, that's where we'll head.
He's got 53 kilos for the Caulfield Cup. What do you do between now and then? Will he have another run?
Yeah, he probably will. He's a big, gross horse, and he takes his racing well. Just a matter of where we go. You know, obviously it's 3 weeks' time. I think the Caulfield, well, it's 4 weeks' time. So. No, 3 weeks' time. So he'd either have to run next weekend or the weekend after in the Caulfield Stakes, and we'll see what happens.
Since he's arrived Sydney today, Moods, Homesman, he second up. He's done that once before here at Caulfield. He really knuckled down, and they'll be, I'm sure, delighted with his progress.
Yeah, for sure. The addition of the blinkers, and they controlled the tempo up front. Malum just followed Grunt. Grunt was in that unusual leading role and looked very lost. He just sat off him and travelled better all the way. The run of the second horse from the Weir stable, Tozen Basil, even though at big odds, Darren Weir's been talking that horse up at home, and both these horses go to the Caulfield Cup and take significant weight drops now, so it's just interesting that 3-week break now. Do they go the 2 weeks to the Caulfield Stakes and then back up into the Cup, or do they back up next week into the Turnbull and take the fortnight break? So Grunt, I think we've just got to forgive him. It's amazing what 6 kilometres will do. Caulfield to Flemington.
Yeah.
And as you said earlier, his best wins have been on good solid tempos. He tried to make the tempo himself today, but he was just all at sea and all lost, and he didn't know where he was when he was up front there. But Humidor, I suppose he's got to go back to the Cox Plate, doesn't it? Does he run in the Caulfield Cup again like he did last year and back up into the Cox Plate? And that was probably a career peak performance.
Yeah.
So probably follow a similar path with him, again, one would imagine.
I don't know if he would have won Blair House. I think he probably wouldn't have, but it was a good run, and he had excuses.
Yeah, he didn't get the opportunity to wind up, did he? James McDonald was a bit of an unusual one there. He swung back to the inside when he possibly had the option to come out and follow Humidor, so whether he thought they were going to open up there, he probably thought he was going to be on the back of Grunt, who was the favourite, who then came back in his lap. So very... we're not sure where he's at Blair House and where they go. I suppose he comes back here in a couple of weeks for the Caulfield Stakes, and that might be a bit more defining for him on where Charlie Appleby heads with him.
Yeah, small field, shame, but plenty going on in that one.
Yeah, it certainly was a fantastic race. Let's hear from...
Thanks. Mark Zara, Ambitious.
Disappointing.
John Allen, Tozen Basil.
Yeah, huge run. I thought I was home with the furlong pole and he probably just knocked up the last 100 yards.
Brad Verwilla, Blackheart Bart.
Yeah, look, he's below his best. He didn't work out that great.
Damien Lane, Humidor.
Yeah, super. The horse is going terrific. I just had to wait and come around. It probably cost him the race, but the horse in great order.
Regan Bayliss, Bonneval.
Yeah, a bit of a head scratcher. Quite disappointed.
Very pleased with him with his Australian debut. He's a little bit fresh in the stalls and come out behind them, but travelled well throughout. And the gaps presented him a little bit earlier, he would have finished within a length of him, but I wouldn't say he troubled the winner.
Damien Oliver, Grunt.
Yeah, look, he's just not as good here at Caulfield that he is at Flemington. Some people might have thought he won a truly run race, but you know it's pretty simple there that he's a much better horse at Flemington.
Flemington next week, of course, in the Turnbull, and you're only going to get $1.20 for Winks. That's a bit of a spoil, really, I reckon. Humidor at $7, Kingswell Dream at $9, Grunt at $11.
That I just thought looked a little bit better than the rest. I thought Caesar, I was quite taken by the fact that he's quite an athletic-looking type, and he's really ready to go first.
It's McDonald, the rider of Spin, and rides I Am Serious a little bit later today. The market here with tab.com.au on the Polytrack Roman Consul. The sandbar here was $2.60, got out to as far as where it is now. A $3.80 chance, I think you'll find, with tab.com.au. Just back into 3.
And they're off and racing. Whiteout Spin was quickly into stride with Sandbar and Shabreets going forward. Jonker's being hard ridden to try and match the leaders, and Al Merton's there as well. So it's Shabreet, Al Merton, and Jonker probing between the pair in third. Then Sandbar from Chard Spin drifting back from Legend of Condor and Caesar's 4 lengths out the back. Al Merton's doing some work here with the blinkers on, pretty keen on the outside of Shabreet. Then Jonker third from Sandbar, charged deeper out of Spin, 2 after Legend of Condor, and Caesar's being scrubbed up at the tail of the field. They went quick early, and it's Shabreet coming back on Al Merton. Jonker moves up 3 wide, Spin 4 wide. Sandbar looking for a bit of room behind them. Not much room now. It's getting the run, Sandbar, as they turn for home. He railed hard, Sandbar, joining Jonker and Spin. Here's Caesar closing off hard on the rails. It's Sandbar in front, 200 metres out from Spin. Caesar's hitting the line well. Sandbar flat out. Here's Caesar, the inside. Caesar takes the lead away from Sandbar. And here's a rare Sydney double for Stephen O'Day. Caesar, a big winner in the Roman Consul, beats Sandbar and Spin's run third, followed by Jonker. Then Charge. Boy, they were well strung out. Legend of Condor. They went mad in the race. Al Merton's finished near tailed off, and so did Shabreet.
They went mad, all right. Caesar couldn't keep up. Caesar couldn't keep up. How appropriate that Caesar wins the Roman Consul Stakes right up the fence, and is too good for them. They burnt it.
Consul Stakes. Yeah, talk about a plan coming off, and a marvellous, training performance, from Steve to just isolate 2 horses and start them off. Both first up, mind you, just little gear changes that did the trick. This race was run to suit, but he's likeable. He was very good at the mile in the JJ charging to the line. So I think, the sky could well be the limit. He was terrific, Sandbar. This race was run at a really hot tempo when Al Merton just bolted with the blinkers on.
Caesar wasn't in sight.
No,
he was so far off them.
Yeah, he just chimed in there at the right time. Look, Spin, I thought, was too forward, and other than that, Jonker was okay. But all honest with the winner, he just chimed in at the right time.
In effect, it was set.
Group 1 racing here at Royal Randwick, a real springboard for these promising staying 3-year-olds. This is the Moet and Chandon Spring Champion Stakes over 2,000 metres. Group 1 worth $500,000, and they're in the parade ring. Our mounting yard is
5 minutes away. Thinking Big is the favourite at $5. Arameo go again at $3. Arameo's at $5. $9 and $9.50 for Dealmaker and Frankly Awesome.
Gates open now. They're off and racing, and he's jumped out well, Thinking Big. Purple Sector was nice into stride. Tarka's mustering with Irrikanji and Thinking Big pretty deep early. Slicing through the field is Panzer Faust, and Arameo's handy on the fence. So Think Big's out pretty wide at this stage, and Clark trying to sum up the situation, whether to go forward or sit back, and he's pressing forward, but he's pretty deep. Further back to Maid of Heaven, Mickey Blue Eyes, then Vassal. Further back to Home Ground Deal Maker, and Frankly Awesome's going to settle last. So Irrikanji takes the lead at the 1400 metres. Thinking Big's out 4 or 5 wide, rolling forward, and now Thinking Big moves up and gets into second position, followed by to last. They go to the 1,000 metres. Irrikanji in front. Thinking Big did some work to get to second. They're followed then by Vassal, who continues to work hard on the outside. Back on the inside is Tarka, purple sector behind them. Panzer Faust moves into a 3 wide position with cover. Then came Romeo, a length and a half further back to Maid of Heaven, then Mickey Blue Eyes, Frankly Awesome, Home Ground and Deal Maker 8 lengths off the leaders last. Racing to the 600 metres now, and Irrikanji being joined by Thinking Big. Vassal's coming at them 3 deep coming to the turn. Then Tarka looking for a bit of room. Tarka's looking for the gap as they straighten it. Then Panzer Faust and Romeo top of the rise now. Thinking Big takes the lead. Thinking Big draws a length clear. Romeo slicing through, issues the challenge, and coming into it is Maid of Heaven the outside. Romeo and Maid of Heaven, they got to Thinking Big. It's Romeo ahead in front from Maid of Heaven. Romeo the inside, Maid of Heaven the outside. The filly Maid of Heaven goes to Romeo and got up. Maid of Heaven got there to beat Romeo in the Spring Champion. Thinking Big third, followed by Deal Maker, then Tarka, Mickey Blue Eyes. Further back to Frankly Awesome from Home Ground. A good gap to Panzer Faust from Vassal. Good gap to Irrikanji, and Purple Sector was last to finish.
Well, a filly's done it again. Maid of Heaven, following on from Yankee Rose 2 years ago. She becomes the second filly to win. And that man, Mark Newnham, has won, or you just can't see him, he was in the background there. That man has won his first Group 1 as a trainer. Mark Newnham, congratulations. Maid of Heaven beats Romeo in a stirring finish to the Spring Champion.
Wow, she was good. She's done a fantastic job after a setback this preparation, and she's
11-4, 1 Thinking Big and 2 Tarka. 11-4, 1 and 2. We ran 10 minutes late there, so we've got to get to Dermore.
Very relaxed sort of filly, especially today with the blinkers off. We sort of thought, you know, we wanted to be in that kind of first half, which we were just about.
Yeah, you're virtually midfield there.
Yeah, got into that sort of one-off. I wanted to be one-off as well because she's a very big striding horse, and that was sort of one thing that Mark and I had spoken about, was giving her plenty of space. So she actually that was the first time she probably picked the bridle up. She really switched on then. For a horse that's in her first racing prep, she's very professional. She's really got the hang of this racing, and she knew what she was doing and when to sort of take me into the race. And I said to Mark after the race, she's a pleasure to ride. She makes my job a lot easier.
What were you thinking, Mark, at the top of the straight when you saw her looming up?
Oh, look, from the half mile I could tell she was going to be in the finish. She just had a really economical run. She looked to be in a really good rhythm. Well, I was doing a little bit of coaching from the sidelines, and you know, it was first of all just wait a little bit longer, and then I just wanted to see her in the clear. And you know, come in the corner, I just said, get her to the outside, and look, I think that made the difference between that and the last couple of runs where she drew barrier 1 in the Flight Stakes, and it was no good to her. She's a filly with a really big act. They said, look, you do it.
Yeah, he was good. Thought I was a winner on a couple of occasions, but just ran out of gas. This soft track just got the better of him, but he went well.
Tim Clark, Thinking Big?
Ran well, outside leader, second up 2,000 on a soft track. Might have just sort of taken a style, but still proud of his effort. I thought he still ran really well.
James McDonald, Tarka. Damien Oliver, Deal Maker?
Yeah, look, I thought he ran really well. I was just able to get in a position where I could build his momentum. They really stacked up coming to the turn, and I still thought he ran really well with a checkered path. And
to a couple of the horses behind Maid of Heaven, but Romeo is now a $7 favourite for the Victoria Derby.
typical Derby. It's wide open yet. There's a little bit more water to go under the bridge. He was good yesterday. Extra Brute was very good. I want to be forgiving for thinking big. That second page, that's the greatest overreaction I've ever seen. 13 to 26 dealmaker. He had a setback and a month off. I thought there was merit in his run yesterday.
Well, let's go back to Big.
Yeah, look, he was off a little bit soon for my liking, but I still think he stuck it out well. I want to be forgiving for his performance, considering the circumstances on the day, and he was second up after. It might have been a tougher run than what we thought at the 1800 first up. So I'm no way in the world am I dropping off him. Arameo looks smart. He was suspended here, Ty England, for coming off the fence and causing a bit of scrimmage there, but you would have thought he was in full flight there, and the filly did out tough him, I must say. Mickey Blue Eyes was okay. Frankly, Awesome's still work in progress. And Dealmaker, I thought there was a lot of merit in the performance, even though he was well beaten. Don't give up on him as far as the Derby's concerned.
A $4.40 favourite in the form of Dreamforce for John Thompson. First among equals at $5.50. I'm excited, $6. And the other horses under the $10 mark, Callista, Dothraki, Bonzaway and Eduardo. It's $4.60. Dreamforce, the visitor from Sydney. I'm excited at $5.50. First among equals.
Gates crash back and racing. Key Lister away quite well towards the inside. Paras began very fast and leads from Eduardo, Key Lister and Dothraki. Keener Ray just behind those horses, with first among equals followed by Dreamforce and Burning Front out wide. We're about 4 or 5 off the lead from Bonzaway, and also I Am Excited at the end of the field as they huddle up the middle. 800 metres to go, and it's Key Lister in front of Paras, a length away Eduardo, followed by behind those horses Keener Ray towards the far side, first among equals, and also Dothraki, and they were followed by Dreamforce, Bonzaway, Burning Front second last. I Am Excited at the end of the field. Onto the course proper at the 500, Key Lister in front from Parast underneath of it, followed by Keener Ray. Eduardo down the outside of the track from Dothraki, first among equals, given a slap with the whip from Dreamforce, and Bonzaway right down the outside, spread across the track. 200 metres to go. It's Key Lister just in front of Keener Ray. Eduardo's lifting, and Bonzaway. It's Key Lister, Eduardo and Dothraki. Bonzaway, I'm excited, flashing home. Eduardo, Bonzaway, and I Am Excited. I Am Excited from the clouds, that's huge. Has beaten Eduardo, Bonzaway, Key Lister. Then Dothraki, Dreamforce, Parast, first among equals. Keener Ray and Burning Front last. I Am Excited, Karen McAvoy. Huge win down the outside. Wasn't likely at the...
Look, Kieran, she's a quality mare. I mean, her Sydney form was outstanding. Yeah, that's right. She's kept getting better all the time as well, Dean. She's a big unit now.
It's by I'm Excited, and the more we dissect this, coming from the rear of the field, Gator, this was a big win.
No, it was all on his win. It looked a really even contest to the eye going into the race. I think I referenced on Get On. We could probably make a case for pretty much all of them, but it was I'm Excited. It was heavily backed, came from the tail and flew late to the eye, home 33.3 last 600, then 11.61, so quite dominant sectional wise. Tempo was pretty solid, 34.8 first 600, and so she zoomed home and ran over the top of Eduardo, who couldn't win mathematically at the weight, 74 Raider with 56 kilos, but he has run enormous, albeit with every chance. Group 1 competitive horse, Bonzaway, also hit the line hard, 3-way go here. Dreamforce did enough for further, and Callista, some positive signs there. She led and held on well.
So I Am Excited was the first horse in 11 years to win the race from a double-figured barrier draw, and needed it too, because was coming right down the outskirts in clear air and didn't get that clear air at Caulfield and just had its momentum stopped. So she needed that room, and once she gets going, she can fly.
Yeah, and post-race, David Pfeiffer saying to me...
5 market update for the Edward Manifold Stakes, Group 2 for the 3-year-old fillies, and Amphitrite and Very Elegant are the favourites. Joint favourites at $4 apiece. Crone from the Weir stable at $5. Artisia at $6. The only other runner under the $10 mark is Pierrot Bell.
$26 with Bet365. Of the others, I think Crone's got a great chance. Pierrot Bell is really tight in the market. I've put
a pretty tight one too, $3.60. Amphitrite has been back.
Outside, now they're racing. Disenchanted away with them. Blonde Disposition out fast. with also Thousand Wishes and Ducal and Gaelic Dream just behind those horses. Further back is Oregon Dreamer, who gets to fifth out deeper, and then came Very Elegant on the inside. Amphitrite's just a shade beyond midfield, and behind here Piero Bell, and then came Dark Confidant and Disenchanted. So at the 800 metres, and the leader is Ducal by 3/4 Thousand Wishes. Gaelic Dream is third, one off the fence. Blonde Disposition next the inside. They were followed next around the outside by Oregon Dreamer, and further back is Amphitrite, who has her back, and then came Very Elegant, who's hunting for runs the inside from Piero Bell and Crone. Well back is Aristia, sticking to the inside from Dark Confidant, and at the end is Disenchanted. 400 metres to go. It's Ducal, Thousand Wishes, Gaelic Dream out 3 deep, a length and a half off those from Oregon Dreamer. Amphitrite down the centre of the track, and then came Piero Bell and Crone. It's Amphitrite out after Thousand Wishes at the clock tower. Amphitrite takes the lead from Thousand Wishes. Crone's the danger. Amphitrite 3/4 a length. Crone, no danger. Amphitrite's home. Amphitrite won it by a length and a half. Crone second. Third, Very Elegant doing a bit late. Then for fourth, Piero Bell prominent in a wall. Thousand Wishes tiring with Blonde Disposition, Rubira, followed by Aristia, Dark Confidant, Gaelic Dream, Ducal, Oregon Dreamer and Disenchanted. Amphitrite, Craig Williams at $3 and $1.50. Trained by Darren Weir. Second, Crone. She's racing so well. Mark Zara for Darren Weir. So a weary Quinella, and then it'll be Very Elegant. In fact, make that a trifecta, because Very Elegant was absolutely storming through. That was a real eye catcher in third. So DK Weir has the 3 runners in the race and the trifecta. 5, 2 and
into the 4 once again, Pete. But look, he's had a good day at the office, and look, it was once again a nice performance from Amphitrite, who got a beautiful run in the race. But this was probably one of the messier races on the day.
Yeah, it got a bit ugly back towards the inside, didn't we? Saw a few horses there not get their chance. Williams just tracked up nicely in the 3 deep line, got a good toe into the race, and she was dominant, this daughter of Sebring. She's now put 3 on end. The stablemate Crone comes off her back there and sort of has her chance. The third stablemate, Very Elegant, inside, red, blue armband. She was probably the unlucky one there. We saw the horse up the inside, the first light horse, Arista, didn't have a lot of joy also. But I think going forward, we see the winner go to the 1,000 guineas next week. No holds barred there. She'll go there barring incident. Is she going to be good enough? You know, I think last week's form will be superior. I think Smart Melody, Eldorado Dreaming, the stablemates from the Chris Lee's camp. Thrillster was super last week. I've just got that form a little bit ahead of this, but all credit to the winner. Really looking forward to seeing maybe the second and third filly. They probably go to the Ethereal. The fillies race at Caulfield on Cup Day, en route to the Oaks, and particularly that News Inc. probably better off in this grade.
I won't be giving up either, Shane, on Dark Confidant. It got flattened at a key stage, so I thought she picked herself up pretty well late in the piece as well.
Bet 365 market update for the last, the Blazer Stakes. $3.40 favourite. We have Invincibilla for Chris Waller, Savatiano at $3.70, Platinum Angel for the Weir stable at $5.50, Tulip, who's been in great form, at $8.50, and Bella Martini at $10.
First up, and Bella Martini, well, $11 seems pretty big in a competitive race, but 3, 9, 13 and
$3.25. Disposing Invincibilla at $3.50. Platinum Angel, good support for her, $7.50 into $6.50, and Tulip.
Bit of everything today. They're ready and they're racing in a beautiful line as well. Temple of Bells going back to the end of the field. La Bella Diosa second last. Shoko fires out, and after 200 metres will lead from Truly Discreet and Tulip, followed by Savatiano and Bella Martini. Further back in the field is Bring Me Roses on the fence from Mamselle Tess, and they were followed by Invincibella. Next in the field, 2/3 of proceedings is Payroll, so it's Shoko in front from Truly Discreet. Bella Martini third, Tulip fourth, the inside from Savatiano, followed by Mamselle Tess at the 600. 2 further back, Invincibella, and then came Bring Me Roses, Platinum Angel, La Bella Diosa, Aloysia, Temple of Bell, and at the end of the field is Payroll. Into the straight at the 500 metres. Shoko held together with Truly Discreet. Bella Martini out deeper. Tulip awaits a run, sticks to the inside, tries to drive through. Savatiano needs a run. Mamselle Tess down the outside. inside, and Invincibella's launching as well from La Bella Diosa across the track. It's Tulip on the rails at the 200 with Mamselle Tess. Invincibella right down the centre. Invincibella up to Tulip. 50 metres to go. Invincibella's home and hosed, races away in the star colours and won it well. Invincibella by a big margin. Savatiano up for second with Mamselle Tess. Tulip in photos, followed by Temple of Bella Aloysia, La Bella Diosa. Then Bring Me Roses, Shoko, Bella Martini, Payroll, Truly Discreet and Aloysia. Invincibella, Hugh Bowman. For Chris Swaller, wraps up what's been a big day with the Winks winning La Diosa or Temple of Bell for the next place after that as the horses cross the line. So Invincibella.
Look, she deserved this. She should have won the Golden Pendant at a previous start, and momentum wins the day here. If you look at Savatiano from the 500 home, she never sees daylight, and then she's in full stride here, Invincibella, and Savatiano does a good job to even get up to run second. It's hard to say what would have happened. Well, I say would have happened. They would have cleared out and been head and head with a 2-horse war to the line, but we'll never know. But good luck to the winner. She had her own problems last start and made amends for her connections here with a very, very big win. And all her form this preparation has been excellent, but obviously legitimate excuses there for the
few of those Godolphin horses didn't have a great deal of luck in the straight there.
They still went home happy.
They would have gone home. They could have.
Maringer and Team Blue there.
Led by Huey Bowman, Invincibella and Chris Waller. Godolphin horse looked unlucky to my eye. In fact, we might have to run a poll who was the unluckiest runner of the day. But Matt down the outside, Invincibella's still impressive.
Yes, people waking up to the Sunday wrap, having their bacon and eggs, have just choked it out watching Savatiano there. But Invincibella was unlucky in Sydney last time, a Shirako winner this campaign, and again, a good turn of foot and destroyed them.
Godolphin had a couple of unlucky runs, didn't they?
Just had the momentum, Invincibella. It had the form lines as well. And she's a high-class mare and was in the right part of the track at that stage in the day.
And for Savatiano to be stopped in her tracks, pick up and then still sprint to the point where it gets beaten by 2 lengths, gee, that was some run.
Look, she was very good. I think she probably should have finished alongside the winner. To the eye, it's tough to measure. Winner was quite dominant margin-wise and came through that Chinook form, which has been well proven. So she's flying Invincibella, as is Savatiano. Whether or not Savatiano can sustain a prep continually is questionable. She hasn't been able to do that in the past.
Yeah, it's trained by a
Bet365 market update for the Group 1 Turnbull Stakes, and no surprise to see Winks a very short price favourite, 1.14 ahead of the reigning Caulfield Cup favourite Kingswell Dream at $13, Grunt at $15, out to Young Star at $31.
You know, she's going to add her name to the dual winners along with Comic Court, and you know, it's just going to be a pleasure to stand back and watch here. And we've got a couple of the Caulfield Cup favourites, Kingswell Dream and Young Star there, and we've
20 deep on all angles of this fence. She is soon to be in the mounting yard, and I'm sure there'll be a cheer when she enters, and people
buzz in the air now.
And just to think she was purchased for $230,000 from Magic Millions, that's an 85 times investment, $19.5 million. I know she's a freak, but that's great numbers, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, they don't get any better, really. I wouldn't have thought, but no, look, she's
$1.12 now. Kingswell Dream 15 and 17 for Grunt, 41 out to Young Star, the Queen's.
And they're racing. And Winks jumped away with them and cleanly. Trap for Fools out well with John Snow on the inside. Divine Unicorn is a little bit fired up in the early stages, so Divine Unicorn is going to push Trap for Fools and John Snow the inner. A couple of lengths away then to Young Star as they settle. The insiders Kingswell Dream from Mighty Boss Ventura Storm. Next in the field towards the end is on the inside of those horses now Winks, and they were followed by around the outsides Ventura Storm, and they were followed by Grunt. Second last is Winks on the inside of Tally at the end. So they reach the 1,200 metres, and it's Trap for Fools, the bolter, leading by a length and a quarter, Divine Unicorn, and 3 further back is John Snow, and the speed isn't that fast. They were followed by Young Star on the outside of Kingswell Dream, followed by Mighty Boss Ventura Storm. Third last is Grunt, and they were followed by Winks on the rails, and at the end is Tally, heading towards the 800 marker, and the front runner is Trap for Fools. Fools for young Ben Allen. Comes up towards the turn, extends that lead to 2 1/4. Divine Unicorn at the 650. Then John Snow for the backers. Young Star ridden along, passed by Kings Will Dream. Winks is about 8 off the lead around the turn. Ventura Storm midfield from Mighty Boss, followed by Grunt, and they were followed by Tally, and Winks sticking towards the inside but trying to pick up some ground. Trap for Fools has the running at the 300 metres. John Snow back to the inside. Kings Will Dream. There's a gap for Winks. She's going to have to explode. Trap for Fools at the 200. Kings Will Dream back to the inside. Winks down the middle. Kings Will Dream at the 100. It's getting desperate. Now Winks is storming home. Winks over the top. Oh, she's too good. They can't beat her. Winks has won it by a length. Second Young Star. Photo third. Kings Will Dream or Ventura Storm. Then Trap for Fools. Again Divine Unicorn. John Snow, Mighty Boss, Tally. And at the end, Grunt at the end of the field. How's your blood pressure after that? Well, with 300 metres to go, there was just a little bit of anxiety, but there just had to be a gap, and it was there. Cool as a cucumber, Hugh Bowman has switched off the heels of Young Star. But what about the acceleration? She has stormed home for another emphatic victory in the end. But it really got our hearts pumping, no doubt about that. 21 Group 1s. Debbie Kapitas on screen, absolutely delighted, in a bit of shock by the looks of it. Aren't we going to have a moment in 3 weeks' time? But Winks at $1.10 has beaten Young Star, Photo third. The Australian Horse of the Year for the 3rd time this week, the 3rd ever multiple winner of the Turnbull. 28 in a row and 21 Group 1s. That's all you really need to say. But at the 300...
through it, was that all part of the theatre? Well, I guess so, Dean, but isn't she just amazing? I mean, usually I ride her so arrogantly and I just let her move into the race when it pleases me, but I didn't have that option today. And, you know, I was in there inside Grunt, and who I had a healthy respect for, and I was thinking, you know, I really didn't want to be there, but I didn't have much choice. And when the pressure went on, it was good because it was a bit of a steady. Once we all settled into our positions, the pace was quite steady. But when the sprint went on, those horses that couldn't quicken as well, sort of it left a few options for me. But still, it was her champion qualities that came out in the end, and bring her on nicely for the 4th Cox Plate, hopefully in 3 weeks' time. All the accolades.
She does us all proud each and every time, and yeah, we're very proud of her, proud of wherever she goes, and it's great to see today's turnout for her. Yeah, it's pretty special.
I turned to Richo during the race, who I was...
Once she had clear running, well, what will be will be. There will be a day where she's not as dominant, but today all she had to do was repeat her form, and she did that.
3 from 3. The big one's next. Well done.
Thanks very much.
Karen McAvoy joins me. Karen, you've run second there on Young Star, who's got amazing performance with the wonderful mare getting over the top to win the Turnbull Stakes. 21 Group 1s. Let's go over to Adelaide. We'll come.
So many times before, she can overcome a lot of hurdles, can't she?
Yeah, she does. She just seems to extricate herself from those awkward situations. We're all a little bit heart and mouth, but we've probably all been there before with her as well. And then on the line, she just seems to cruise. Huey gave her a dig up there and sort of got her into the clear, and it was super, you know. But a tremendous day's racing overall here at Flemington today, I think, for the season away. But this filly at the same age, being an Oaks winner herself, you know, she's doing everything asked her at this point in time, and took all bar a superstar stablemate to knock her off. Kings Will Dream, he got a run up the inside there, and for a fleeting moment it looked like if he really quickened, he might have been the one that put a little margin on them, and Winks might have struggled to get him. But I was taken with him today from the fact that he was bigger and stronger than he has been in each of his early 3 runs this preparation. So I was one that was thinking this horse might struggle to get to the Caulfield Cup in the right condition, but the horse I saw today, he nearly presented too big, and I reckon this run will really bring him on. So I think Kings Will Dream and Young Star heading towards the Caulfield Cup, you know, in great shape, but all honours with this absolute superstar.
Just back to her for a moment. I mean, how do you find like this type of race for her, where they've obviously gone steady and built it up, and you know, she was disadvantaged the way the race was run, but she's overcome it. But heading towards a Cox Plate, would Chris be happy that it effectively, in inverted brackets, hasn't been a hard run further?
Well, listen, he can monitor her progress and he either ups or backs her work, depending how she comes through this. But she sprinted home. We haven't. I haven't seen the opportunity to see her sectionals yet, but they would have been very good from the position. Like she values, say, oh, hang on, Trap for Fools is only a length and a half back. Ventura Storm, those sort of horses. Was it as dominant a win as we've seen her produce? But you cut the race up, the sectional, see where she came from, the manner in which she did it. You know, she's in grand shape, and she heads to her fourth Cox Plate in great shape. And I'm not.
Turnbull Stakes. Well, basically, she ran her first 800 metres in 50.82 seconds before then running her last 800 metres in 43.98 seconds. And as Daniel O'Sullivan, prominent form analyst, pointed out on social media, that's a 41-length difference. Her last 600 was in 32.21 seconds, last 200 in an unbelievable 10.87 seconds. So from a slow early speed, she has ramped it up and she's done the impossible. I don't think there's any other horse who would have been able to win from where she was in the run. It was an unbelievable win by Winks, her 21st Group 1 success. As we mentioned, her 28th win in succession, and all roads now lead to the Valley for the Cox Plate. Let's hear from the beaten jockeys.
Yeah, look, he obviously should hit the line a bit better. He just wasn't comfortable in his action. Want to get out sort of all the way around the circle and the straight, so see how he pulls up.
Breton Abdullah, Divine Unicorn.
He ran terrific. He just drove a race a bit early, just a strong late.
Luke Nolan, Ventura Storm.
Terrific. He's on target for a Caulfield Cup. You know, back to handicap conditions will really suit him, but he's ticking along nicely.
Ben Allen, Trap for Fools.
He was good. He showed a side at the top of the straight, tried to get a break, but yeah, they got us late, but I thought he was good. He was tough.
Michael Walker, Mighty Boss.
I don't know. I don't know. Didn't try.
Stephen Baster, John Snow.
Yeah, he ran okay. We're just praying for some rain.
Craig Williams, Kings Will Dream.
I was having my first sit on him today, and I was really happy the way that he responded to my riding. Ran into Winks again, but I thought he went extremely well. And
yeah, she got in a lovely position and got in a nice rhythm. It was good speed in the race, and she picked up really well once I asked her from sort of the 500, and showed a nice finish over the last 400 metres. So. Pretty happy with to get beat a length by the Wonder Mare, and obviously up to 1.5 miles, and Caulfield Cup's a good option for her now.
Damien Lane Tally.
Was there a moment when any of the panel members, I'll keep you aside here because you had to call it, was there a moment when you thought she wasn't going to win?
I thought about the 600 when they'd gone reasonably slowly and she was, well off the speed and back on the inside. So she couldn't go when she wanted to go. She had to wait for the seas to part. I thought, she's put herself or Hughes put herself in a difficult spot.
Yeah.
And then as they upped the tempo, still at the 300, I thought, she was no $1.10 pop at that time. Yeah. And if Michael Walker on Mighty Boss had have held his ground on the outside of Youngstar, she might have had to go around rather than through the gap, and it might have been a totally different story. So I don't think Mighty Boss was going well enough at the time to sort of hold her in. But if that gap didn't come, she would have had to go back and around, and it might have been a different story.
First things first, you have to explain to Richo what a train is. It's a thing that carries people in a
really
confined
space.
Yeah.
Keep going as you were.
Takes them to certain places. Watching it live, I was watching with my brother there, and I thought, we said to each other, 8 lengths is a lot of lengths to make up, in a moderately run race, and that was in the back of my mind watching it live. I thought there were some anxious moments for sure, and that was referenced in Matt's call.
Well, let's have a look at he's in that position, but then with Tally coming on the outside, he goes inside. We haven't seen him inside a horse. I was trying to rack my brain. I think it's way back to her first ever Cox Plate win.
Yeah, you'd have to go back to, her last few runs, Hughes
extends that lead to 2 1/4. John Stowe back to the inside. Kings Will Dream. There's a gap for Winks. She's going to have to explode. Trap for Fools at the 200. Kings Will Dream back to the inside. Winks down the middle. Kings Will Dream at the 100. It's getting desperate. Now Winks is storming home. Winks over the top. Oh, she's too good. They can't beat her. Winks has won it by a length. Second Youngstar.
Not a worry in the world, Matty Hill. A great call, mate, first and foremost. Take us through it from your point of view. You've got who would you be following out of those two?
Yeah, I thought Youngstar was... she was under pressure a lot earlier than Kings Will Dream. Kings Will Dream, I thought, was going to give a bit of a kick at the top of the straight and didn't. So I couldn't really have that horse at the top of the Caulfield Cup market after yesterday. I reckon there's better hopes than Kingswell Dream. I mean, it's definitely a chance, but it's not a $465 chance, and I think you'll get much better price on the day.
I agree with that. To the mare.
The biggest danger to Winks is bad luck around the valley, to be fair.
What price is bad luck? $17.
I mean, obviously, Ben stayers, and you start to get a little bit nervous, and you know, and then you know your main danger on paper is getting upside the lead here, and then it puts you through some nervous moments. But she, like you said, she just overcomes these issues, Lizzie, and just the acceleration that she's got is of a 1,000-metre sprinter.
That's right. And the way she ambled up to them in the last 50 metres is when she sort of really puts pay to the field with absolute minimal effort. And the way she extends, I think, is always, you know, that head down and that really workmanlike action. And, yeah, she's... I must admit, I was slightly concerned when he crossed back to the fence and he was last. That's always not a great place to be at Flemington if they don't fan. And we'd seen earlier on in the day with Rainier that, you know, he didn't have the greatest of luck in that particular position. But she just pulls out all the stops. She can have that, you know, tremendous turn of foot at any stage in a race, and that's what she did.
Now, what you do with her? You know, last 800 in under 44 seconds, the last 600 in 32.21, and the last furlong in 10.87. You know, that's you pick up the sectionals of the 1,200-metre sprint down the straight. They're nowhere near that.
No horses can run that time.
Well,
only her. Anyway, maybe she deserves it.
It's working.
I think she needs an exclamation mark. $1.20 now. Humidor goes there.
Yeah. I don't know what they start. I don't think. Well,
no, you're wearing your Godolphin colours.
That's a big team.
It's a big team.
All right, Savvy Cope, trained by Michael Pittman on the South Island of New Zealand, won the Livermore Classic yesterday.
She'll go there.
This is the old. Yeah, she'll go. Apparently, she is going there.
Okay.
This is the old Kelp Capital Stakes, the Livermore Classic. Let's go to a break. Here's Savvy Cope winning the feature in New Zealand, and she is coming for the Cox Plate.
Run for home now, and here Big Mike Savvy Cope's released in the centre of the course. She's coming home quickly, ranged up and hit the front now. Scott Mace runs on as well, and then further away we've got 5 to midnight, but it's Savvy Cope in front. Run, baby, run! She's home. Lizzie Lamore runs on, and then Dance, but it's at the line. She's been.
I think Jar May, I'd rather be on into place, to be honest, at a similar quote. And I think it's a good each-way chance with a course of distance record. Expecting Harrison and Venice Beach to run well from the Lloyd Williams camp. And Avilius, well, it would be a fairy tale win. 9, 1, 11 and 2.
Yep, the team as one. Update, and 240, he was the target of some very good, strong early support. Avilius out to 240, Yogi at 475, Harrison 650. The other rather under $10 is Our Venice Beach at $9.50 for the Bart Cummings.
Gates are back and racing. Jar May dwelt and goes back to the end. Checkered Flag began well with Hush Writer looking for cover, as we were told. Mega Blast is pushing up with also Northwest Passage, and from the deep is Harrison. And just behind those Checkered Flag, Von Jamask is wide into that turn from Wheel Leisure of Villiers, a gap to Yogi Jar May. Then Our Venice Beach and Zacata is at the end. So they head towards the riverside with approximately 2,100 metres to go. And racing clear is Harrison by 3 lengths to Northwest Pass. And they were followed by Wheel Leisure and Yogi, just being niggled at there past the 1,200 marker. Followed by Our Venice Beach. Then came well back in the field Jar May, and Zacata is at the end of the field. So they reach the 1,000 marker, and it's Harrison 6 or 7 lengths in front. Daring tactics here by young Andrew Mallion, and it's Harrison well clear heading towards the half mile. 5 or 6 Northwest Passage. 2 lengths to Hush Writer, followed by Mega Blast and Checkered Flag. Von Jamask creeping closer. Avilius is off the fence at that stage, importantly at the 600. Then Wheel Leisure, followed by Yogi, who sticks towards the inside for the time being, given a reminder. And then well back is Jar May, with also to the outside Our Venice Beach and Zacata. So it's Harrison now into the straight. They've got it. Northwest Passage and Hush Rider move up. Checkered Flag. There's a wall lining up. Jar May's running on. Avilius now down the outside with Von Jamask as they reach the 250. Avilius lets down. Jar May trying to go with it from Northwest Passage. Then Von Jamask. It's Avilius at the 150 just in front. Jarmay driving at it. It's Avilius just in front of Jarmay. Yogi's flashing home. It's a big finish. They hit it. Avilius has just won from Jarmay and Yogi third, followed by Northwest Passage. Further back, Vonja Mask, Wheel Leisure, Our Venice Beach, Cicada, Hush Rider, well back, Checkered Flag, Mega Blast and Harrison at the end of the field. Avilius, Glenn Schofield just wandered under pressure. Jarmay was driving and it was a great finish. Their heads in unison. They were stride for stride, but the favourite will win it. Avilius, number 1. The gelding by Pivotal wins 6 at start 11 and 4 from 4 in the Land of Oz, trained by James Cummings, who wins the race in honour of his famous grandfather in Bart Cummings. And good
drama even past the post, Pete, as we well know. But how about in terms of how the race was run? They certainly rolled it along. The tempo of the race ensured that the best horses were going to come to the fore because they weren't hanging around.
No, it was a good old-fashioned staying race. Harrison ran them along at good sectionals and opened the race up nicely and gave every horse their chance. Avilius, I've got to say, the way he presented, I expected him to come out and put 3 or 4 lengths on them. He looked like he was going to dash very quick, and then he laid in on the favourite, on Jemai, the runner-up, and as we saw the resulting protest there, I went down and purposely had a look at the horse post-race to see if he had a big blow, to see whether it was a matter of him getting tired and laying in under pressure. He was reasonably clean in the win, so you know, whether just first time in Melbourne after the 3 Sydney runs, he's just got a little bit lost. A couple of swishes of the tail there when Glenn Schofield gave him a couple of backhanders. Wonder whether a good one in the left would have straightened him up and got his mind on the job. And Jemai, we know, is a very good Flemington horse. So, you know, I think that form will stay solid. Are they good enough to hold off the Raiders? You know, I suppose only time will tell us.
A little bit of news out of the races as well, Shane?
Yeah, Grace Ramage, of course, been hunting and gathering throughout the afternoon, Grace, but this was a big talking point, the Bart Cummings.
There was a lot of drama post-race, as we know. The second and third horse in the race being Yogi, of course, and also Jarmay in that race. They are both 50 kilograms for the Melbourne Cup at the moment. So speaking to Greg Carpenter, regardless if they go on to win a race, they will not be penalised enough to gain a start in the race. Both horses will have to front up in the Hotham Handicap, which is, of course, the former Lexus, to gain a start in that race.
Let's go.
Avilius, who survived on protest after winning the Bart Cummings, has been $13 into 10, ahead of Cross Counter and Magic Circle, with the Caulfield Cup favourite Kingsville Dream at $15.
In and you're in, and the punters said Avilius. Though Mikey had a task with 58.5 kilos.
He had a huge task, but just here I thought he was just going to extend and draw away and win by 2 or 3 lengths. He sort of got to the front and then started to lay in, and it was a very tight finish in the end. But he's a class horse. He's just got that terrific turn of foot, and to carry 58.5 like he did yesterday and get into the Melbourne Cup, you know, he's got to be a good chance in that race.
The blinkers might have backfired on Harrison, who went out thinking they were Voro and he overdid it. They were. If this race was run at the same time as last year, they would have been 10 lengths in front of this field with 600 to run. So, and that was a good contest last year. Emily Starr won, who's a good athlete, and the Melbourne Cup when Al Mandan was in the field as well. Avilius, great job with the weight. Thought the protest was borderline frivolous. The runner-up was never taken off its line, and you should never get a race where you don't deserve it. And the winner carried the weight, ran past it, too good. Yogi was good again. You mentioned on the screen there the sectional start home 12.02. They were home 46.8 and 46.6 respectively last 800. So good sustained speed off a strong gallop is generally a great sign.
He's a long way out though, Yogi, wasn't he? I mean, that's his racing style. But he's strong through the line.
He was.
But at the 1200, I thought, geez, he's not going to finish in the first half.
Yeah, and fast race though. You just brought him. He's on the rail and he's giving his best. Avilius has run past him, given him weight. There might have been a slightest of brushes there, and the right horse won. Simple as that.
I think that's what everyone... Huge team this year, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a $300,000 race. So, I mean, yes, he may have given up a Group 1, but he's won a $300,000 race and got a guaranteed ticket into the Melbourne Cup. So they can just plan the horse's preparation from here, knowing that they've got a slot.
Yeah, and also, I'm sure it dawned on him too, he won the Bart Cummings.
Yes, I'm sure that would have.
I think they got the 2 favourites now. They've got Cross Counter as well, haven't they? So there you got the 2 favourites at this stage.
Penalty-wise, what are we looking at with Avilius in that race?
Does he get penalised? I don't know, I didn't check this out. Does he get penalised being a race that has an exemption?
Not sure. We'll get to the bottom of that one.
He's got 53.
The second and third horses there interest me as, you know, lightweight chances as well. The Yogi and the second horse, but I'd say they'd have to go through that Lexus now to get them into the race as well.
1 to 1.5.
Oh, okay, so he can get it.
Yep.
Okay.
I believe that's what it is.